The Case IH 2150 Early Riser operates at your speed and adapts to unique field conditions so that you can maximize your yield potential. Stop in or call Mid-South Ag Equipment at 662-890-3141 to learn more. That's Mid-South Ag, your Case IH Equipment headquarters.
Welcome to Sports 56 Mornings with Peter Edmiston. Co-hosting Sports 56 Mornings is Anthony Sane. Here are Peter and Anthony with Sports 56 Mornings.
Cut me up in the headphones, Zach. Yo,
I bought a cruise ship. Call it a cruise ship. And now my crew is tripping. While we cruise tripping.
Cut me up. Cut me up my headphones.
I said cut me up, you cut me down, Zach. What's going on, man?
Yeah, cut me up. Give me that extra.
Drop that beat and bring another beat in.
Come on, use that potentiometer you got there. Let's go. Let's get this thing going. drop an extra beat.
It's Friday.
Give me a little more treble. Give me a little more treble.
Yeah, put a little more bass in my headphones, man. Come on.
Come on. Give me some more lows.
He's done absolutely nothing. Nothing's changed.
I'm kind of limited over here.
Right. We ain't got the 2020 equipment, or 2021 equipment, or 20. So
that's all right. That's all right. We're doing our best here, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome. It's good. Welcome, everybody.
Has anyone, like, other than me, noticed that the guy who got hit with the twisted T did the exact same thing Jason Williams did in the locker room for the Grizzlies? Like, it's just, if you go back and watch that video, he like,
good.
I'm cool. Okay. But yeah, welcome us in, Peter. My apologies.
Welcome in, everybody. Ladies and gentlemen, we are live from the Family Leisure Studios on a Friday. Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 98.5, 96.1. We've gone, 24 hours from someone storming the U.S. Capitol, so we feel good about that. We got,
a whole 24 hours.
We switched the day, when they have the thing at work where it's like how many days without an incident. America can say one. We got one day.
We got one day.
One day
without not global terrorism. What's it called? Domestic terrorism. One day without it.
Yeah. So that's good. So we, hey, man. Got to start somewhere. You know what I mean?
I got a bone to pick.
The longest journey begins with a single step.
I got a bone
to pick with me?
Yeah. Yesterday when I went on my rant, when I was triggered by a texter saying, I'm on neither side of this. I just want to hear about sports, as if pro athletes are also on neither side of it. But anyway,
correct.
And I said, well, if you want to talk about sports, play the Draymond Green clip. I hadn't heard the clip, so I was like, I want to hear it. Play it. And then you said, no, man, we can't play it. It's got a tough language in it. That man said one word. We could have played the entire clip. He said one word at the end, at the very end. And there's even an edited version. He said one word, bro.
Yeah, I said no. I mean, I didn't know that. I didn't know there was an edited version until after the show, and I didn't want to put that on Zach because.
No, it wouldn't have went. No. But I'm saying we could have rolled like 90% of that clip, and then just cut it off.
We could have, but I'm saying, Zach didn't know which 90%.
Yeah, you were.
So if he had messed up, then it would have been problematic.
And I heard multiple clips of it, so it was like. Yeah, so
there's different cuts. There's different. There are different. People took different pieces of it.
I found a cut last night. It's
great. Check it out.
Edited, so I might shoot that over to Zach for later on. If y'all.
I encouraged everyone to check it out. It's excellent. It's exactly what's going on.
And he speaks so well to be a athlete. He's so punctual, so articulate,
so articulate.
Surprised to see he can actually speak English. Remember that you said about Shane Battier?
Oh God, yeah, all the time.
I was like, bro, y'all don't shut up. Stop saying that crap. Bro, there's so many things that happened that were okay to say even 5 years ago that you totally cannot do anymore.
Yeah, it's nor should you. It's,
right.
You shouldn't have done it then, and you should.
Yeah, should have been exactly. Shouldn't have been doing it then either.
No, but we thankfully picking up on some of this stuff now, which is nice. It is the Friday edition of the program. I'm Peter. He's Sane. That's Zach. We're just doing the best we can to bring you 3 hours of power here at the beginning of the day. It is cloudy, a little rainy. Had a little snow yesterday. That was exciting. I got like 2-3 good hours of like hard snow out in my neck of the woods. It was great. I love to see it. I hadn't seen hard snow like that in a while. That always warms my heart to see it. It was nice. Good job, Mother Nature. Let's get some more of that. That'd be great. Today, you can expect kind of I don't know. It's a overcasty kind of thing. I don't think you're going to expect a whole lot of excitement in terms of weather. It's cold and it's going to be sort of cloudy. So that's where we are. Don't think there's going to be any more precipitation today or indeed throughout the weekend. On the show, we're going to talk to our good friend Adam Kramer. At 8 o'clock, we'll talk college football, including the national championship game. That is still, as I understand it, scheduled for Monday, although there are some COVID rumors that continue to persist throughout. We'll talk NFL playoffs as it is an expanded wild card weekend. For the first time, we get 3 wild card games per day, Saturday and Sunday, and it's an exciting time, no doubt about that. We'll talk about that coming up, and also we'll talk about the Grizzlies last night. That's all I can say right now. The opposite of I asked the question last night. Is the opposite of a moral victory an immoral loss? Because I think that's what it was for the Grizzlies last night. An immoral loss down at FedEx Forum to the very, very shorthanded Cleveland Cavaliers. This was an ugly game and finished ugly, and it was a big batch of ugly was out there on display. Unfortunately, understandable. I mean, these two teams played like two teams that were mentally fried from all the things that have happened over the last 48 hours, and also, that had 6 injuries each and all that. They played like that. It's the kind of performance that you saw from both teams.
Crap on crap.
Last night, but one team was less crappy than the other, and that was the difference in the ballgame. We'll talk about that here in just a moment. You can get in touch with us, 67129, on the First Bank phone line, 67129, or the First Bank text line, I should say. 67129 is how you get in touch with us via the First Bank text line. You can also hit us up on the First Bank phone line at 360-8255, 901-360-8255, and we are also readily available for you via chat. You're watching us on the video. Welcome in. Hi, everybody. We have a video stream available via Twitch, Twitter, YouTube. Unlike the president, we have access to all of the social media channels, exactly. So we can stream all over the place. And anytime you see us streaming video-wise, just pop a little something in the chat. It comes right to us in the First Bank chat line. We love to hear from you. We like to give you lots of ways. We are live and local. We love to be live and local for you. That's what it's all about. Zach, I don't think we didn't really say good morning to you specifically yet. So allow me to do that. Good morning, Zach. How are you?
Good morning, guys. How you doing?
Well, you didn't answer my question.
Oh, well,
I asked, how are you doing? It's like you just disregarded my question entirely.
Unintentionally disregarded because I'm so used to like asking everybody else's.
The formalities, yes, I understand. The formalities of language, yes.
Yeah, but I'm doing well. I'm doing well. Like this the post Grizzlies work version of me. So, and then on top of that, it's Friday, so I'm ready for the weekend.
What you got going on this weekend, Zach?
Nothing. Is
your church open? Your church, like you can go in there?
We can go. Well,
VIPs only.
I mean, the church is always
the doors of the church is always open. Let's start off with that.
Why are you putting limits on God?
That's also not true.
But anyway,
I mean, because I work the sound at my church, we doing like recordings for our live stream for our church service, and so every like
pastor's like cut me up in my headphones. cut me up. Give me some more bass.
Yeah, right, we know how that goes.
It's like I just need a little bit more trouble, man.
Zach's like. Nothing. Sorry.
But
hey, get your budget up. Get your budget up, Pastor.
But with that soundboard, I could do a little bit more.
Turn it
can do a
up.
little
Turn it
more.
up. Turn it up. Turn it up.
All right, Zach, let me ask you this. If you mess up at church, what happens?
Oh, we get the depth eyes, man.
So it happens every Sunday, right?
Don't cut, man. You mess around, don't cut nobody's mic on. Everybody turn
man.
around looking like,
That's
it's like
hilarious.
who didn't turn the mic on? It's like, why can't we hear? Why can't I hear my baby, man? It's crazy. It's
Yeah,
crazy.
I feel you. I did the same thing at church for years, so I'm with you.
And it's because I do this professionally. It's like this is like easy. So when I'm at church, I'm like, I just look at people if I mess up, like, all right, like,
Hey, do you not listen to me Monday through Friday? From
Right.
7 to 10.
7 to 10 every day. Like I do this for a living.
Yeah,
man.
you should be used to this. Y'all should know my resume. Come on now.
It's like
This is what I do.
just turn around and enjoy the music. We'll figure it. Like it's gonna get figured out. Like just enjoy it.
Gotcha.
Well, that sounds like an exciting weekend coming up of sound production for Zach Boyd.
Impending mistakes to come.
Yes.
I'm actually pretty accurate on not making mistakes.
With the Holy Ghost. With the help of the Holy Ghost. I got you. Go ahead, Peter.
So we're good to go.
With the help of the Holy Ghost.
Zach's phrasing is still my favorite. I'm actually pretty accurate with not making mistakes, says Zach.
Right.
That's the way he said it.
Yeah, he puts in many quadruple negatives.
That's right. Many people would have just said, I don't make many mistakes,
Right.
but not him. I'm actually pretty accurate with not making mistakes. That's,
but not making many mistakes at all.
That's so many qualifiers in that whole thing. It's extraordinary.
So
anyway,
mistakes may be there, but it could not.
Right.
But it won't. Maybe
the mistakes
Maybe
may be
not.
there, but they could not be, and that's what it's all about, right there. All right, so as we mentioned last night, it was it was ugly. Grizzlies lost 94-90 to the Cleveland Cavaliers. The last three games, the winning team or the losing team, one team has scored 94 points in each of the last three games for the Grizzlies, which is a weird little anomaly of statistics. But for the Grizzlies, they scored 90 points, which was not enough because the other team, the Cleveland Cavaliers, scored 94. And so the larger number, as a lot of you may figure out in math, the larger number wins the game. At the end of the game. And Cleveland had the larger number, and therefore they won the game.
Clearly, Cleveland must have cheated. They should have stopped counting.
I mean,
we were up.
they
We
should
were
have
up
stopped-
at the end
I
of the third
agree.
quarter. I think we were up at the end of the third or something like that.
It was there were a few points in the game where they probably should have stopped the count.
Yeah, just stopped the count.
But they didn't, and so the Cleveland Cavaliers ended up victorious, led by Andre Drummond, who was really good. Had one of the greatest shot attempt, maybe the greatest shot attempt I've ever seen. I'm going to retweet it now. Just because,
shot attempt or shot make? Which one?
It was an attempt. It was definitely not a make under any circumstances. I mean, it's just this is about as bad as it gets, and it was wonderful. One of the great plays. So I just retweeted for last night. He takes the ball like right at the top of the key. Andre Drummond, mind you, and waits for all the cutters to just go, and then he's like, "Nah, I'm taking it one-on-one." Tries to cross over Jonas Valanciunas, and then flips the ball in an attempted, I don't know, finger roll or something. He flips it 10 feet backwards on a layup attempt, and almost catches his own layup attempt near the foul line. This has to be the most spectacular play in basketball history. Oh, yeah, my Lord.
It's up there. Speaking of
beautiful.
Andre Drummond, who was murdering JV during certain points of the game.
Except for that one. But otherwise, yeah, he was
yeah. Do you believe in empty stats? Because Andre Drummond throughout his career has been one of those guys that they say, man, you look at the stat line, he's got 20-20. He's got 20 and 15 or 30 and, whatever. Mm-hmm, and then people say, but it doesn't affect the game. It's like it's an empty double-double. It's an empty monster game by Andre Drummond. And, I say that in reference to JV, who's on his own streak of consecutive double-doubles. But I look back at the game, and I feel like JV's had bad games. So
yeah, agreed.
I don't really know how to express, what that means in my eyes, but you're a lot more you're a bigger stat guy than I am. I'm a more of a eye test guy. So how do you think why do you think I have that feeling, or a lot of people may have that feeling where, okay, I just saw JV get a double-double, but it felt like he had a terrible game.
Yeah, Jonas Valanciunas has had a double-double in every game this year, and his impact in those games has been not huge all the time. Sometimes he's been big, sometimes he hasn't been. I mean, the short answer is because it's true. What you're saying is true. It just is. Like, there's the stats we have, the counting stats we use are – limited to some extent. You can put up theoretically points and rebounds and not necessarily impact the game in a huge way, depending on how those points and rebounds are acquired. Particularly rebounds are, somebody's got to get the rebound,
right? But
just because you're the one getting the rebounds does not necessarily mean that it's the be all end all. I mean, there are lots of guys like Drummond who hoover up a bunch of rebounds. But if he didn't get it, would some of the other players get them? Yeah, and would that affect the game? Not really. Does it matter if he gets it versus, Chetty Osman or Larry Nance or somebody? Does that matter? No. So, the stats are the traditional box score stats are somewhat limited in terms of what they can give you from an impact. It's like a triple double, averaging a triple double. Russell Westbrook has did that 3 straight years. Fantastic. Does that mean he was the best player in the league? No. An amazing accomplishment in its own right, but not necessarily indicative of the best way to play or the best outcome for the basketball game. We've seen guys like Rondo. Rajon Rondo is known for being an assist hunter.
20
he won't
20
make a pass.
In a game, unless he thinks.
Well, he won't make a pass unless it's going to lead to a shot attempt or something like that. That affects the flow of the basketball game. Like, you see him sometimes, make a more difficult pass or
dribbling the ball
skip
late
over
into the shot clock.
Because he's trying to make sure he can find the guy. And so, I had the conversation with several coaches back a few years ago, and I think it's I really believe in it. If we change the box score, we would change the way the game is played. If you could find a way to not necessarily measure rebounds, but measure, rebound percentage, like the chances of rebounds that you go after versus the ones you get. Team rebounding percentage with you on the court. That's the stuff that matters to me, rather than just strictly individual rebounds. Assists, we would throw in the hockey assist as well, secondary assist. Your pass leads to another pass, which leads to a shot. I would also throw in there should have been assists, because John Morant's got a million of those that should have been assists and weren't because the guy missed the shot, but it was an amazing pass. He did his job perfectly, and the guy misses the shot, so it's not measured on the box score. Well, that's not fair.
Kyle Anderson is the ultimate hockey assist guy, too. He sets up a lot of good passes.
Exactly. So, in turnovers, I would separate that out into live ball turnovers versus, charges and other things that lead to dead ball opportunities. Those are, that stuff matters. So, I think we're limited somewhat in our as far as the box score goes.
Because you have interactions with fans, and I go to the deep of the deep.
You do. You go into the
I'll go with the. I mean, that's where my roots came from. Like, people say, well, I don't see how you still interact with people in Facebook groups. Like, I pretty much was. What's my boy's name that Coach JJ was talking about that he coached that played for the Lakers? Jamario Jones.
Jamario Jones.
Jamario. Yeah. I'm a Jamario Jones, bro. I didn't, what I'm saying?
I didn't. In the G League Combine.
I came through,
by the way. G League Draft. They got the G League Draft coming up.
Exactly, bro. I came through the back door with this stuff, bro. Like, I started off in Facebook groups. Like, that group is like 17,000 people. The Grizzlies group. I was in the first 30 people in that group, bro, as a fan, and I just ran my mouth and came up, through the back door. So it's like, I'm not gonna act like, this is my people, bro. Like, I'm like the Zebo of Memphis media, bro. I still gotta be in the hood, bro. I'm a lion. Put me in the
Zebo? 20-10 every game. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Put the game in my back. Put the team on my back.
Yeah. And you were. Hey, listen.
You're like a Marc Gasol, bro.
Stats,
you know what I'm saying?
Speaking of the stats, you remember Zebo, getting a few Z-bounds, missing a shot 3 or 4 times to make sure he gets that offensive rebound.
That's me. You need me to talk about the Tennessee Titans? Hey, you need me to talk about the Tennessee Titans for 10 minutes? I got you. You know what I mean? Just give me a minute. I got you. That's me, bro. Like, I'm like 50. And you like Marc Gasol, bro. You about the stats, playing the right way and all this stuff,
That's right. I'm about playing the right way.
Yeah, cool with all this. You cool with all this.
I'm about radio in the right way.
But look at us when we come together, bro. Look, hey.
That's right.
Look how many Mark and Zebo bootleg T-shirts were sold during that 8-year run.
Gazebo. That's where it is. I can't believe that never caught on more. I heard Walt Frazier say that, and I was like, man, that's great. How's that never caught on more? Gazebo. I mean, that's perfect, man. Get in the gazebo. We'll talk about the game itself when we come back because it was ugly. And this team is they've got excuses. They've got understandable reasons why they're not very good right now, but they're probably a little worse than they should be for some I think very fixable reasons. So we'll talk about those when we come back. Also, as I mentioned, we'll talk college football with our man Adam Kramer coming up at 8 o'clock. Kari Thompson joining us at 9 o'clock. We'll also get into the NFL playoffs in a very busy wild card weekend. So a lot to get to here on the program. It is Sports 56 Mornings live from the Family Leisure Studio. A reminder, too, now is the time over at Family Leisure for you to get your pool situation taken care of. Jump to the front of the line now, because you're thinking, man, it was snowing yesterday. It's cold. All this. Well, that's the perfect time to go ahead and get your pool situation planned and ready to go so that when installations begin, you are at the top of the list and you're ready to roll and you got the entire spring, summer, and fall to enjoy your pool. You can do that over at Family Leisure. Check them out at 2120 Whitten Road, just north of I-40. They got absolutely fantastic deals. Early bird specials are happening right now for you. Jump to the front of the line. Do it now. You will be thankful that you did. Back after this, Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 98.5, 96.1.
Broadcasting from the Family Leisure Studio. We are Sports 56, 98.5, and 96.1.
A good friend of mine often says that golfers are the best athletes. This is Sheldon Rosengarten with Marks Bensdorf Realtors. Now, I don't want to embarrass Ed by mentioning his name, but if you stop and think about it, he may be right. Just like the best real estate agent may not be who you think. Like a left tackle in football, a golfer hits it hard off the tee. Like a sprinter, the golfer walks down the fairway to reach his ball. Then like a quarterback who wants to connect with a distant target, the golfer hits the ball again, and in my case, again and again and again. So if you or someone you know is thinking of selling a home, draft your team by interviewing the players. Find out who will block that offensive lineman from knocking your deal down. And find out about the Shell Bucks option play. When interviewing, call or email me to find out why people often say, when you want the job done, call Shell Done. You can reach me at 483-0546 or memphisrelocate.com. That's 483-0546 or memphisrelocate.com. Do it now and don't fumble that ball.
I almost never go to Central Barbecue without running into somebody I know.
That could be because you only eat at Central Barbecue.
It's because Central Barbecue is where Memphians go to get barbecue and has consistently been voted the most popular barbecue restaurant among locals.
Actually, that's really saying something.
I know. Memphis is the nation's capital of barbecue. With all the choices, people who live here go to Central Barbecue.
They do get their share of tourists.
Sure, because Central Barbecue has been mentioned on TV and in tons of national publications. You know why?
Because of the great food?
Because those TV shows and magazines look for the place where the locals go, and that, my friend, is Central Barbecue.
Bartlett Small Engine has been serving quality power equipment since 1970. They have a full line of power equipment, parts, and services for most makes and models. Bartlett Small Engines has the best brands in the power tool industry: Honda mowers, trimmers, and generators, Steel blowers, trimmers, and chainsaws, Echo trimmers, blowers, and chainsaws, plus quality products from Red Mat and Shindawa. And they're all American made. Bartlett Small Engine is your can-do store. 6780 Summer Avenue. Call 901-386-9779.
The folks at Homer Skelton Hyundai want to say thank you. Thank you, Memphis, for another spectacular year. They set records, but I can understand why. You think about the product. Where else do you get a 10-year, 100,000-mile limited powertrain warranty? That's what you get on every new car at Homer Skelton Hyundai. Oh, and thank you again for the 11th straight year, the #1 certified pre-owned car dealership in all of Memphis. It starts with that product, but then it goes to the shopper assurance. Where else do you go where you get transparent pricing, flexible test drive, take the car for a couple of days if you want, streamlined buying process? You're not going to be there all day, in and out. And then, and I have not seen this anywhere else, the 3-day worry-free exchange. You buy a new car, if you've got any buyer's remorse, you've got 3 days to change your mind. Just get on Lamar, take it into Mississippi, the first exit's Craft Road, turn left, and go see Chris True and all the gang at Homer Skelton Hyundai.
Sports 56 traffic.
We have a lot of accidents on the roadways this morning. We got a crash on Raleigh-Millington north of Austin P Highway at Jones Road. Also, we have a car that is in a ditch on I-240 westbound at Lamar. Accident on I-40 westbound near Sycamore View. A crash on Holmes Road at Tullahoma. Crash, and then this is a new one. This is a crash on I-240 southbound at South Parkway. The right lane and the right shoulder is blocked. So I-240 southbound at South Parkway, the right lane and the right shoulder is blocked. And that is your Sports 56 traffic update.
Welcome back to Sports 56 Mornings with Peter Edmiston.
Yes, I will be good, I promise.
Co-hosting Sports 56 Mornings is Anthony Sane.
That's great, man.
Now, back to Peter and Anthony.
Whenever dark is falling, you know the spirit of the party starts to come alive until the day is dawning. You can throw out all the blues and hit the city lights, cause there's music in the air and lots of loving everywhere. So give me the night, give me the night. Give me the night.
George Benson, man, one of my favorites. I love George. Just a solid little funk to this. This little light funk, I'd say. This is a light funk.
Yeah, a little L funk.
It's much heavier funk.
A little funk.
This is a little funk. Little funky Friday here on the program. Welcome back to the Family Leisure Studios. I'm Peter. He's Sane. We will talk NFL playoffs later on in the show. Wildcard weekend beginning. Also, we'll talk college football playoff final with Adam Kramer coming up. It's been a little minute since we talked to Kramer because of the various Fridays. Last 2 Fridays have been Christmas and New Year's Day. So, we have not been on the air. This is the first Friday that we've been on the air in a while. So we'll talk to Kramer and catch back up with him. In the meantime, as we mentioned last night down at FedEx Forum, a disappointing loss. The Grizzlies right back in action tonight against the Nets, and there's more to that story too. Kyrie Irving is
Kyrie swerving.
Kyrie's being Kyrie, man. This is some classic Kyrie stuff.
Hey, respect that man mind, bro. At 2021, I ain't talking bad about Kyrie.
We'll get to it. Coming up. But last night, Grizzlies lost to the Cavs 94-90. Cavs were, of course, missing lots of people, including Sexland. They were missing Sexland, the fantastic backcourt of Colin Sexton and Darius Garland, both out. Kevin Love out as well. You're missing significant portions of their team. I think 6. They got 6 out, just like the Grizzlies do. And so you're seeing 2 pretty banged up teams, 2 pretty mentally tired teams go out there, and it was ugly basketball. Just some real ugly stuff. But in the end, the Cavs were able to put it together and came back, and they got key baskets from Shetty Osman. Larry Nance was perfect from the field, 7 of 7 for 18 points, including 4 for 4 from behind the arc. We mentioned, in spite of his insanely terrible possession, Andre Drummond, 22, 15, and 3, as he kind of worked over Jonas Valanciunas. Jonas with another empty double-double of 17 and 10 for Jonas, 14 for Brandon Clark. I don't know. Saying this was
just an ugly game.
Yeah, man. This was kind of depressing a little bit. This was kind of depressing game.
Let me talk about some key elements of the game that kind of stood out to me, because I'm about to have a old man moment here. It was something you said a few weeks ago, about a couple months ago probably. You were talking about challenges in instant replay in the NBA. You was like, I just don't like it at all. And I know this is going to come off like I'm just saying this as a Grizzlies fan, but let me put this out there first too. I don't really have a preference right now whether the team wins or loses. Like, I don't really, I'm not really, because of the type of season this is, if they lose a bunch of games and they get a lottery pick, I'm down with that. But if they show that they're better than a team that should be losing games without Ja, Jaren, those guys out, and they're good in spite of, I'm down for that too. That means you got a team that's, on its way. So I don't really, right now, I'm not really pulled either way, winning or losing. But it was a key moment in the game that just made me think about Peter Evanston, Zach. When
I'm curious now.
Right, yeah. The Grizzlies get a rebound, they kick it out to Tyus Jones on a break, and Isaac Okoro, who's freaking good. That dude's good.
He's good, really good.
I thought he was a guy that was just gonna be able to play defense and that's it. Like you hear guys get Kawhi Leonard comps. If anybody's on that Kawhi trajectory, because Kawhi didn't come in doing this. I mean, he wasn't coming in looking like Scottie Pippen with dreads. Like that wasn't who Kawhi Leonard when he first came to the league. Just a guy that was athlete and he could defend. But that Okoro kid is good. Like I got a friend, Memphis X, who's a blogger and podcaster. He was talking about him for a year ago. I was like, who in the world is Isaac Okoro? But anyway, the Okoro kid is good. Anyway, he comes down, he blocks Tyus' shot. They call a foul on the court, and as soon as he blocks the shot, Dillon Brooks is trailing. He gets the rebound. He lays it up. It's 2 points. The original call on the court was a foul. They challenge it, and they say, all right, well, it wasn't a foul. It was a clean block. So now let's jump well, it was a clean block. I'm not challenging. I'm not questioning that at all. But then you jump the ball, and for some reason JV's doing jump balls. He hasn't won one the entire season. JV's jumping ball against super athletic Andre Drummond when you got Brandon Clark on the court.
Brandon Clark's got short little arms though.
He can hop though. I mean, JV's not even jumping. You know what I mean? JV's just throwing his arm up when the ball goes through. Oh, there you go. So we lose the basket. We lose the 2 free throws. We lose the basket, and we lose the possession. And then Cleveland comes down and they score. So my thing is, if they had just let the play the way it was, Dillon Brooks would lay the ball up. The Grizzlies had 2 points. And I think that if you're gonna do challenges, you have to look at, okay, so what happened in that play? You just can't say, all right, well, that didn't happen, so start all over. You kind of get what I'm saying? Like, whether there was a block or a foul or whatever, Dillon still immediately caught the ball and laid it in. Mm-hmm. And there was no stoppage of play. It was just a natural basketball reaction. The ball's still live. I caught it. I laid it in. And that kind of bothers me about the whole replay and challenge thing. Because if you're challenging, it shouldn't be a negative outcome for the Grizzlies is what I'm trying to say. You know what I mean? Like either it was a block shot and he rebounded and laid it in, or you're going to give the Grizzlies 2 free throws. Like giving the Grizzlies a chance to not get anything out of that whole thing just seemed like crap to me. And I'm not saying that because I wish the Grizzlies had won, but just looking at that in that microscope, challenging plays doesn't look right to me in that particular element. I don't really think that was the intent of what they were doing.
No, it shouldn't have been. I mean, it was. But again, once they blow that whistle, or once they call the foul, then the play after that becomes nullified. And so
I don't really like that. I don't think I like that, Peter.
No, I'm glad. Yeah, you're right, and I totally agree with you. And this is one of the many reasons why I hate the whole thing.
Right.
The whole thing is stupid. It's because that's a classic example of a team that gets unfairly punished for something that should not have been
right.
Because
one of two things happened: either he was fouled, which you called on the court, or he was a clean block, which turned into a layup. But to nullify all of those and say, okay, let's give Cleveland a chance to get the ball back, that's not it.
That wasn't the intent.
Right.
No, that wasn't the intent of the rule and that whole situation. So I think that's there's a lot of examples of unintended consequences with some of the replay that we've seen, and some of the things that are annoying about it. The fact that you only get one challenge, win or lose, doesn't really make a lot of sense to me. If you're going to use a challenge system and somebody challenges and it's the referees are wrong in the first quarter, you basically have said, well, you can't challenge in the first quarter because no coach is going to challenge no matter what it is in the first quarter because the stakes don't matter as much. You're waiting for a higher leverage situation in the game before you challenge. So then by saying that, you've admitted that it's really not about getting it right. It's just about limiting the time you get it wrong. Well, that's not really the point. I mean, that's just. I'll say it again, and we can have this conversation a million times. We have to just admit, we have to stop looking for some mythical perfection in the officiating of our games. It is not going to ever happen. It can't happen. You can't make it happen. You can't put replay in. You can't put robots in. You can't put nothing is going to make it perfect. So stop trying and admit that referees, like players, like all of us, are going to make mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes those mistakes will benefit your team. Sometimes they will not.
Right.
But it's a lot better to have that as a product rather than this sort of mutated version where some of the mistakes can get fixed, but others can't. And it's going to
And I think it should be some type of limited
makes the games
continuation.
longer. It just the
because
whole thing.
listen to this. Like, what happens if, let's say, Ja Morant's on a break and his defender draws a charge, and they call a charge on the court, and then the Grizzlies challenge it. That's a challenge. That's a challengeable call, right? A charge, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So
A foul, yeah.
Let's say Ja goes to the basket. He takes contact and passes the ball out to Desmond Bain. Bain knocks down a three, and they call a charge on Ja Morant, and then the Grizzlies challenge it, and they say, okay, that wasn't a charge. But take the 3 points off because the 3 points.
Yeah, it would be the same
either.
thing because then you can't continue the play.
It's terrible.
Exactly.
Like,
you don't have the natural continuation.
Yeah, if you're gonna,
also, what if there is a charge and they don't call anything? You can't challenge it. There's nothing to challenge. I mean, that's also wrong. You just can't. But you can't challenge a non-call.
Yeah.
So it doesn't. If they just don't call an obvious goaltend, you can't challenge it, even though it was so like.
It was a meaningless game in January, but I was like, okay. I didn't like it. Like I don't like how that whole thing went down.
No, it was the whole system is flawed.
Yeah.
It's been flawed. I don't like it. So the Grizzlies though they end up losing again. This was just kind of a bad game for a lot of the Grizzlies who just looked tired. Didn't look. There's no spark. There's no energy. It was a really low key kind of game. Dylan Brooks really struggled out there. He had to work hard to get his 11 points on 13 shots. Took a lot of really bad shots in the process. Brandon Clark was probably the best of the starters. He had a really good first half and then kind of fell off in the second. I thought Desmond Bain probably his worst game. He still hit 2 threes. It was probably his worst game in a while. He still had 6.6 rebounds. And Xavier Tillman maybe was the best off the bench. He looked really good, even though he only put 2 points up. I thought he played good defense. I thought he was really active. So I'm still not, even though Grayson Allen hit 2 threes, I'm still not. And he had 3 steals. Like he was very active in the second quarter. I still I'm not seeing it from him.
For who you talking about, Melton?
No, I'm talking about Grayson Allen.
Oh yeah,
still not seeing
it
from Grayson Allen, even though he had a better game. And then Melton had kind of a deceptive game. Yeah. Because he did a lot of good things, but him as the backup point guard is just not working, man.
Right.
He's not a full-time point guard. He could certainly run things for a time, but he's not a full-time point guard on the floor. It just doesn't. The offense chokes when he's out there doing that. So
it seems like Melton's added. Maybe he had this last year, but wasn't really looking at him with as much attention as I am this year, but it seems like Melton has added a little more ability to get to the basket. Like maybe he's just being more aggressive. Maybe he just seems like he looks a little more comfortable on the ball. Not particularly running the offense, but as far as creating his own offense, it seems like he's a little better. Do you see the same thing or?
I think so. I mean, I think he's definitely more comfortable. In general, I think. He was not thrilled with the bubble. That wasn't his thing. Right. I think he had to deal with a lot of different personal stuff. Plus the idea that he was going to be a free agent, and so I think he's more. He seems like a more mentally stable player,
right.
A little more calm, a little more confident. He's had he put together. He's guaranteed to put together 2 or 3 really good defensive plays in any given game. Blocking shots, stealing the ball, just being very aggressive. So he's certainly there's a big role for him. I just don't think that role is full-time point guard. That's my point.
Right. Without a doubt.
There's there needs to be another ball handler out there. The Grizzlies, I'm not saying like Tim Frazier would have been the answer, but you got this guy on a hardship and he's a legit point guard. I mean, what would it hurt to throw him out there, throw Melton out to the 2,
right,
and see what happens? I mean, it's you've got him out there for a reason.
And it's extremely hard to understand Taylor Jenkins.
Yeah, the rotations are really weird. I don't.
Coming back to that starting lineup 3 games in a row and being 0-3, like it bothers me, man. Like you're coming back to that starting lineup and that starting lineup is 5 good individual players. But they're not meshing together, man. Like they're not. I don't really get why he comes back to that lineup. We saw Brandon Clark had a good game. He had some some BC moments, some before COVID BC moments. But it's just not looking. It's just not gelling well together. It's 5 good players, but they're not. He needs to mix up something. I don't know why he didn't just go back to the same lineup he had with Kyle at the 4, Dillon at the 3. And I say Bane, if he does Grayson or whatever he's doing, Melton, whatever. Like the 3-guard lineup to me looked a lot better than going back to the bubble lineup minus Ja. Insert.
You look at the lineup at the end there, and it's just there's no on a night when Dillon Brooks doesn't have it.
Right, and
he
come
didn't
back
have
to
it last night.
Dillon did hit a big shot. He hit a big shot to put him up forward with like a minute and a half or 2 minutes to go or something like that.
Yeah, and how big did that end up being?
He gave that away.
They lost by 4.
Yeah, he gave that away.
And he airballed another one that was, come on. That's Dillon.
Trick or
and
treat
the problem with Dillon, you have to this is where like situations matter and context matters. When you put Dillon Brooks out in that lineup, in that starting lineup that ends up also being the closing lineup, he's going to rightly perceive himself as the number one offensive option.
I'm the closer. Yeah.
Because he is.
Right.
And that's not where you want Dillon to be. Dillon is a great third option who can get hot and be a first option on a hot day.
A stretch of the game.
When he's hitting everything, he can be that. He cannot be the guaranteed, focal point of the defense, first option. That is not going to happen. Jonas Valanciunas can't consistently hit anything and got swallowed up again inside by a better big.
And not even a known defender. Drummond's he's not a post defender like that. Like he's just
no.
I don't understand what's going on with JV this year, man. Like there was a time where if you gave the ball to JV, he was going to pound you in. He's going to beat you into the rim. He's going to lay the ball up. Like I don't know what's going on. I don't know if he's not. I don't know because I know he changed his workout routine. I don't know if he's lighter. He's lost strength or what? Because he's not looking like classic JV.
He had foul trouble last night.
Yeah, it's weird, man.
It's just
weird.
He's not. Defensively, he's struggled last few games. I don't know. But anyway, that lineup at the end just didn't make any sense. Tyus Jones is you're seeing the limitations of Tyus Jones, who is a very, very, very good backup point guard, but a very average to below average starting point guard when you have to significantly rely on him. Just not enough. I don't know, man. This is a frustrating one because this is a game. We talked about it yesterday. If you have aspirations of trying to make the playoffs this year, then losing games like this, that's a killer. It's a killer for that. They're 2-6 now. The Grizzlies they're 0-5 at home. And home doesn't mean as much this year, obviously, as it does normally. And they got another one tonight against the Nets without KD and probably without Kyrie. So the Grizzlies are going to manage to miss the Nets with KD and Kyrie both times. So another game that they really should win, followed by another Cleveland game. Same thing, should win, and then Minnesota games. This should have been a 5-0 possibility for the Grizzlies, even with the injuries they've got, because the teams they're facing are also significantly hampered. But now who knows what they're going to look like?
Yeah, it's you get the Nets again. Like we talked about, Kyrie, he won't be available for personal reasons. So he said Kevin Durant is out on COVID protocol, and maybe they can get another win. Like I said, man, it's strange because I don't know if I want the Grizzlies to win or lose. I mean, I just want to see them look good. I want to see promise. I want to see Bane knocking down shots, and I want BC to get back in form. I want Melton to look good. But the actual win and losing part, I don't know why I feel this way. Like I just think this is the year where you just kind of want to just see what you have. I think that they're playing. I think I'm not against their goals at the beginning of the season to see a team that's continuing to develop and continue to compete. And I don't really think wins and losses matter. I think they matter even less this year than they did last year, if that makes any sense. But that's just kind of where I'm at. I want to see a good effort. I don't want to see them look terrible. But
No, I agree. It was an ugly game last night. Nice to see JB Bickerstaff back.
Yep.
And had a chance to talk to him over the Zoom for a little bit yesterday. It was nice to one of the nicest dudes that you'll ever want to meet, and great family, and just a real level-headed dude. I always like seeing JB, and I'm happy that he's having some success early in his career with Cleveland. We'll talk about what's next for the Grizzlies and give you a couple of surprising numbers when we return. Adam Kramer coming up 8 o'clock. Kari Thompson at 9. Stick around. Sports 56 Mornings.
Spend your lunch with Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy on Sports 56 Middays.
Lunchy munchy.
Weekdays from 10 till 1 on Sports 56, 98.5, and 96.1.
First Bank is here to help you, whether you're a business looking for a loan to expand or refinance an existing one, a homeowner looking for a mortgage or home equity line, a consumer wanting to finance your dream car, or wanting a competitive rate on your CD deposits. Let First Bank try to handle your banking needs. Stop into one of First Bank's 3 local branches today. 6482 Poplar Avenue, just east of International Paper, 8398 Highway 64 across from Wolf Chase, and 6280 Highway 64 in Oakland. Or check them out online at firstbankonline.com. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
The NFL playoffs are here, and it's my favorite time of the year. I can't wait to bet on all the action this weekend on FanDuel Sportsbook. And if you've never tried FanDuel before, the playoffs are the perfect time to give it a shot. Because right now, new users get an exclusive 25-1 odds boost on any team to win this weekend. That's right, 25-1 odds, any team, any playoff game this weekend. Personally, I love the Saints over the Bears on Sunday. So don't miss out on this exclusive offer. I've been betting football on FanDuel all season long. Just download the FanDuel Sportsbook app and use promo code GASMAN so they know I sent you. That's FanDuel Sportsbook, promo code GASMAN. Must be 21 or older and present in Tennessee. New users only. Must wager on designated boost market. Deposit required. Max bonus $125. See full terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. For problem gambling support, call 1-800-889-9789.
There's a new commissary in town in Collierville. Germantown Commissary is doubling. Yeah, they're still going to have the old Germantown Commissary by the tracks, but now there's a huge new Germantown Commissary in Collierville at Poplar and Houston Levy Road. It's huge, too. There's a drive-through. There's plenty of parking. No telephone pole to get in your way. A cool patio. It's right by the track, so the tradition continues. And this is a tradition that's been around forever. That commissary is famous for hickory-smoked, slow-cooked Memphis-style barbecue. They've got a private party room at the new one in Collierville. Self-catering still continues. Party packs for $5.95. Basically, the great ribs, the great pulled shoulder, the great deviled eggs. Everything is there in Collierville and Germantown now. So there is now a Germantown and Collierville style of barbecue. It's called Germantown Commissary.
Looking for fine jewelry for that special occasion? Look no further than James Gaddis Jewelers. Hi, this is Jay Gaddis, and for over 60 years, my family has been here for Memphians on every occasion. Specializing in engagement, bridal, and custom design, we are here to make your dreams come true. Depend on us for birthdays, anniversaries, Valentine's, or any day in need of a smile. We have an extensive selection of gemstone, diamond, and pearl jewelry, watches, and designer pieces. Shop local at Poplar near Mendenhall in the heart of East Memphis. James Gaddis Jewelers, your family's jeweler.
Hi, folks. Bob Burkham for Sunrise Buick GMC Truck. Thinking about buying a newer used car or truck? Remember, the selection's better and the savings are bigger at Sunrise. Over 600 new cars and trucks to choose from, factory rebates up to $6,000 and interest rates low as 0%. Immediate financing with next to nothing down, a $6 million used car inventory, specializing in cars and trucks under $10,000 and monthly payments under $200. Bad credit? It's okay. At Sunrise, we've got a financing plan for everybody. SunriseMemphis.com. We're saving you money. It's just a way of doing business. Covington, Pike, Wolf Chase, and Collierville, we make it fun to buy a car again.
Welcome back to Sports 56 Mornings with Peter Edmiston.
Yes, I will be good, I promise.
Co-hosting Sports 56 Mornings is Anthony Sane.
That's great, man.
Now, back to Peter and Anthony.
Nothing hold us back. We're putting our show together. We're polishing up our act. And if you've ever been held down before, I know you refuse to be held down anymore.
With me. Woo! Welcome back. Pete and Sam with the Leisure Studios. Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 96, 198.5. Which Grizzlies played the most minutes this year? Anthony Sam.
Most minutes. Oh, Kyle.
Correct. Second most minutes?
Dylan.
You got it. Look at this guy.
This is on top of the dome, bro. Just off, just familiarity. Watching the games. Bane is up there, too. Bane is top 5.
That's what it's all about. Bane is, let me see here. No. He's 6th, though. So he's close.
Yeah. I'm good.
He's 6th. He's not top 5, but he's not far. Now, who has the best advanced net
the best
rating?
shooter on the team, JV.
Thanks, Big N. Great stuff.
Shout out to Big
N. Yeah. Another shining example of where it's been so wrong. The best net rating, the best difference in team performance per 100 possessions when that player is on the floor.
Oh, you know what that means.
Minimum of 50 minutes.
Say it again.
So that means you got a minimum of 50 because it's early on. So 50,
okay.
You got to play at least 50 minutes. So, but it's early. These are obviously very early numbers. You're not gonna. No one needs to get too crazy about any of these numbers yet. But they're interesting to kind of look at. Just sort of, just keep an eye on. Just kind of keep an eye on how they evolve. Number 1 with a bullet is Xavier Tillman.
He comes in and makes
By
stuff
far.
happen, man. He blew that
He
dunk
comes
yesterday,
in-
man. I felt so bad for the kid.
I know. It was right there. It was right there. Oh, it was the second most embarrassing play on the floor. But Andre Drummond is first by a million miles. One of the Hall of Fame. My man said this should be in the Shackton Hall of Fame. Absolutely. That's historians will study that play for years and wonder how it happened. Xavier Tillman. He's the team has been very good with him on the court. He has won. DeAnthony Melton also. 2 very high numbers right now between those two guys, and then John Morant is third in the numbers. But again, all those guys have only played 3 games each, and they haven't played 3 games together, all 3 of them. Beyond that, everyone else is in the negative. Those guys are plus. Xavier Tillman, the Grizzlies are 11 points per 100 possessions better when he's on the court so far. DeAnthony Melton is 9. John Morant is 6, and then everybody else is in the negative. Starting with Kyle, who's just barely in the negative. Desmond Bane, and then it gets worse from there. The Grizzlies are 18 points per 100 possessions worse with Tyus Jones on the court than off the court. And the Grizzlies are 9 points per 100 possessions better when Tyus Jones is off the court.
Y'all remember my Tyus Jones prediction at the beginning of the season? People I didn't know what he's talking about. I said I told everyone, I said by trade deadline, Kyle Anderson is going to be it'll make more sense to keep Kyle Anderson than to keep Tyus Jones. I said it.
You said it.
I said that before Kyle was even going off. I said it, man. Hey, you know what? Me and the bros were talking about yesterday. Because I don't know if you guys know. You might want to become a member as well. There's a very elite group chat that I'm a part of where it's a very elite message board type WhatsApp situation. Going on with the bros. And you know what we discussed Kyle Anderson to be like?
What sort of bros are we talking about here?
Just some bros, man. Just some guys.
Do I know these folks?
You might. They are on Twitter as well, but it's not a Twitter conversation. It's an elite basketball conversation, Peter.
I see. High level basketball.
Yeah, high level basketball talk, man. This ain't for the pedestrians.
That sounds like my kind of party.
Yeah, I'll send you a link. I'll send you a link to that.
Go ahead and loop me in on that.
But they said Kyle Anderson is kind of like the Jay Crowder for this team. Like he on the court, he's missing those shots that we'd rather see him miss than Dylan take. No, but seriously, he's kind of like that, the steadier of the offense who,
Yeah.
He's kind of playing
he just doesn't. Except he doesn't have the volume. The thing with Jay Crowder that was the difference is that I know Jay Crowder shot like 26% or something crazy.
Right, but he shot 8 or 9 threes a game.
The funny thing is he shoots a lot. And kind of like Dwayne Wade back in the day, even though Dwayne Wade wasn't a very good three-point shooter in the regular season, he still managed to have people think he was.
Yeah, he got people to
so
defend
he would bend the defense. You'd have to defend it. And Jay Crowder had that same thing where he wasn't making shots, but people were closing out on him like he was Steph Curry, and that affected the defense, and that allowed the Grizzlies to have more opportunities. When he spaced the floor, like, it actually meant something. Guys would kind of, have to keep an eye on him, and it would open up a little space.
Right.
When Kyle Anderson spaces the floor, it still doesn't open up space. Teams are not believing that Kyle Anderson is going to take 6 or 7 or 8 threes a game. They definitely believe that Jay Crowder would, because being a spacer is not just about making the shots. It's about taking. It's about the threat of taking a lot of the shots, and if volume matters in that particular role. And
getting someone to defend your more than likely missed 3-pointer. That's an ability.
And just getting them to believe that you're going to take it every time. Which Kyle Anderson, even he doesn't believe that. You saw one last night where he was just. They almost begged him to take it, and he kind of paused, and eventually took the shot. It's still not in his mind where he's just that's the thing with Desmond Bane. Like, he catches it and shoots it. Like, it's a one motion. Like, I'm already thinking about it before I even have the ball in my hand. I'm already in my shooting motion because I know the ball's going to come and I'm going to shoot it.
Right.
That he's one of the few that does that for this team right now. So Kyle Anderson's very important. Don't get me wrong. That's not a knock on Kyle Anderson.
And the fact that he does take and make threes at all, that works. I mean, that's great.
Oh yeah. No, he has
stuff he was doing last year.
He can get his. He's driving to the basket more. He's really a very strange but very effective finisher. Somehow, like, he just kind of slows down and sort of arches his body.
Then his long arm just kind of comes out of nowhere.
Weird. It's so weird, but it works. It works for him. So he's an important player, but it's not because he's a spacer. He's not the spacer that Jay Crowder was. The team is, and you saw again. Look at that last possession. When the Grizzlies needed a three last night, and Desmond Bane got a corner three, but the spacing was so tragic on that play that he could barely get the thing off. No, they got issues. They need guys back quickly. They need guys back quickly. We're going to talk college football. We'll talk the playoffs, and we'll talk the final with our friend Adam Kramer. That's next. Hour number 2 on the way. Stick around.
Hi, this is Troy Five-Ash, owner of Five-Ash Roof Services. You've heard me talk about how we offer the best products, the best warranties, and the best services for years. Now let's talk about pricing. Pricing should never be the only reason you hire a contractor, but in today's world, pricing is always a consideration. So we suggest you get 2 or 3 estimates for your roof replacement from a reputable, licensed, and insured company, and then give us a call. If we can't beat your best price for a comparable roof system by more than $100, we'll give you $100. It's that simple. We are so sure we can offer you the best price, beating all other qualified companies. We will hand you $100 if we can't, and thank you for the opportunity. So give us a call. What's the worst thing that's going to happen? Make $100? Five-Ash Roof Services, a proud supporter of Tiger Athletics and the official roofer of the Tigers home team. Five-Ash Roof Services, fair, honest, and ethical. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
Five-Ash Roofing is what we do. We're here for you.
The folks at Homer Skelton Hyundai want to say thank you. Thank you, Memphis, for another spectacular year. They set records, but I can understand why. You think about the product. Where else do you get a 10-year, 100,000-mile limited powertrain warranty? That's what you get on every new car at Homer Skelton Hyundai. Oh, and thank you again for the 11th straight year, the #1 certified pre-owned car dealership in all of Memphis. It starts with that product, but then it goes to the shopper assurance. Where else do you go where you get transparent pricing, flexible test drive, take the car for a couple of days if you want, streamlined buying process? You're not going to be there all day, in and out. And then, and I have not seen this anywhere else, the 3-day worry-free exchange. You buy a new car, if you've got any buyer's remorse, you've got 3 days to change your mind. Just get on Lamar, take it into Mississippi, the first exit's Craft Road, turn left, and go see Chris True and all the gang at Homer Skelton Hyundai.
Kevin Harlan here from Westwood One. Join us for Super Wild Card Weekend. Saturday, it's the Colts at Buffalo. The Rams visit Seattle. And Washington will host Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Then on Sunday, Derrick Henry and the Titans host Lamar Jackson and the Ravens. The Bears are in New Orleans. And the Browns are at Pittsburgh. If it's the NFL playoffs, it's right here.
Catch the NFL playoffs on Sports 56, 96.1 and 98.5.
Listen Sundays at 11 a.m. to join Idlewild Presbyterian Church for worship. Idlewild is a PCUSA church located in Midtown Memphis.
Do not wait for summer. Get your pool now during the early bird pool sale at Family Leisure through February the 7th. You can reserve your installation spot on your new pool purchase from Family Leisure. You know the prices like the temperature. They'll go up when it gets warmer, so you must reserve yours now. Family Leisure has hundreds of spas on order, so reserve yours now. The early bird pool sales happening now at Family Leisure, Whitten Road at I-40, where family and fun come together.
I Buy Houses, 901-406-1101. That's 901-406-1101. I Buy Houses. I Buy Houses will buy a house in any area, in any condition, and yes, it's guaranteed to close in 5 days. If you need to sell your home quickly, call 901-406-1101. If you've been through a divorce, if you lost your job, if you're tired of renters, I Buy Houses can get you your money quickly. I Buy Houses will buy your home in Shelby County, DeSoto County, Memphis, Bartlett, South Haven, Horn Lake, Olive Branch, anywhere and everywhere in between in any condition. And yes, they're open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I Buy Houses, 901-406-1101. That's 901-406-1101. Grab that pen, 901-406-1101. I Buy Houses.
We are Sports 56 WHBQ Memphis, W253DF Memphis, and WIVG Tunica Memphis. Flynn Broadcasting Stations. Sports 56 traffic.
Still working an accident on Raleigh Millington north of Austin P Highway at Jones Road. Also, the car is in the ditch on I-240 westbound at Lamar Avenue. Also, accident on I-240 westbound near Sycamore View. Crash on Holmes Road at Chulahoma, and also a crash on I-240 southbound at South Parkway. The right lane and shoulder is blocked. And that is your Sports 56 traffic update.
Welcome back to Sports 56 Mornings with Peter Edmiston.
Yes, I will be good, I promise.
Co-hosting Sports 56 Mornings is Anthony Sane.
That's great, man.
Now, back to Peter and Anthony.
She's a very kinky girl, the kind you don't take home to mother. She will never let your spirits down once you get her off the street. Ow,
GP, go, you're with me.
She likes the boys in the band.
GP.
She says that I'm her all-time favorite.
When I make my move to her room, it's the right time.
That's right. It's a great song. Welcome back, hour number 2 on the Funky Friday. First Friday we've been on in a while, so first Friday to get a chance to talk to our good friend Adam Kramer, which we will do momentarily. I'm Peter Edmiston. He is Anthony Sane. That's Zach Boyd producing the program today. It's chilly out there. It'll be chilly today, high in the low 40s and cloudy for most of the day, but no precipitation expected after yesterday's unexpected large-scale snow flurries. That's the best way I can describe it. There were big old snow things coming down. It was kind of cute. I liked it. We played in the snow for a little bit. None of it stuck or anything, but it was nice. But it was nice to see. It was very pretty. Coming up, we'll talk NFL playoffs and get back into last night's disappointing Grizzly loss. But we got to talk college football now. And joining us for the first time in a while, our good friend Adam Kramer at Kegs and Eggs on Twitter. Kramer has been a mainstay here for many a year, and so it's great to talk to him in 2021. We can only hope that this is going to be better than last year, but I got to tell you, the early return's not great, so we'll see.
Good
Adam
odds,
Kramer, how are you?
Good odds on that. Yeah, I mean, if you wanted to maybe get some value here on the betting market, you can do that. Good to talk to you guys.
How's how are things in the Kramer household so far?
Not bad. No, we're hanging in there. For me, this is always a weird time of year because of the end of the road for football and a lot of time and effort and words and everything else kind of coming to an end here. So this year in particular just feels so strange and yet sort of normal too, right? At least from a football standpoint where we are. And that's the part that I'll be writing about that actually this weekend and kind of talking about road and the fact that we're left with a football game that feels somewhat familiar.
I got before we talk football real fast. I just have to ask. I saw the little teaser. This because for many that don't know, Golden Tee is Adam's baby as well. Adam is a project director for Golden Tee, and Incredible Technologies, and so been a very very busy time for you guys with some new products, some new launches every year. There's new stuff. It's fantastic, because I've told everybody I love Golden Tee. It's one of my absolute favorites. So talking to Adam about Golden Tee is one of my guilty pleasures in life. I see a little teaser that pops up in my on my feed a couple days ago, I guess. Golden Tee and the PGA Tour.
Yep.
What can you tell me about this, Adam Kramer? What's going on? Because when I see Golden Tee, I see people in like giant cowboy hats and American flag underwear, swinging children's clubs. I don't see PGA Tour players. So I'm very intrigued in what appear to be some TPC courses potentially. I'm very intrigued. What's going on here, Adam Kramer?
So let me see. So we got a lot of news coming out in the next couple of weeks and months. But what I can say is this has been probably the thing I've worked on most over the past 18 months, 2 years. And Golden Tee's partnering with the PGA Tour long term on a new platform, and it's going to be awesome. For as long as I've worked there, it's been like, hey, can we play real courses, or what about this and that? And the answer is going to be yes soon. So 4K, souped up, new cabinet. I mean, it's going to be really cool, and it's a really long-term thing too, right? It's not just going to be the courses. There's some other things that we've got planned. So it's exciting, man. And I'm glad the word is out, because I've been sitting on this thing for far too long it's been a hard secret to keep.
So you're talking about like real courses. You're talking about like, is the style going to be still Golden Tee style, or is it going to be kind of?
Like you mentioned like the cowboy hat and everything else. Like this is Golden Tee. Like this is the Golden Tee you know and love. But it's going to look better. It's going to sound better. It's going to feel better. It's going to play exactly the same, and you're going to be able to play real courses as well as the crazy stuff. And I think that's the part that is most exciting, is combining these worlds, right? I have my dad, for example, who has a Golden Tee, who's asked me for years, like, hey, these are fine, but I really want to play real courses. And I know people in my world who are saying, hey, I want to play on Mount Everest, right? And the beauty of this is we're gonna kind of combine both worlds and build this one game and integrate this license across. And so they've been great to work with. It's for people who love golf in general, whether you love video games, whether you love Golden Tee, I don't know. It's a really big deal. So my biggest issue right now is, we have to navigate life and the pandemic and figure out how we're going to launch this thing, and everything's taking longer than it should for obvious reasons. So that's been the biggest challenge, but at this point we're kind of used to it. So it's if you are a fan of the PGA Tour, which I know is getting kind of backing up and running this week, which is exciting, I think you're going to be really excited about this.
That's fantastic. I look forward to hearing more, seeing more. That's cool. That's very, very cool. And
I appreciate it.
We'll keep an eye on it, because I'm pumped up. It's always good to hear it. I got a little cadre of my friends that are always asking me what's going on, and so I'm happy to pass along the good news to them too. In the meantime, we've got a national championship game. At least I think as it stands right now, it's still going on Monday. There's some rumors, scurrilous rumors, that perhaps things may be delayed. And I know Nick Saban's daughter certainly has some hot takes on that issue that she wanted to share with everybody out there. Give me a quick thumbnail on the semifinals. Once again, not exactly close, but for the first time in a while, there was a little bit of a surprise in one of them.
Yeah, for Notre Dame, Alabama, I'll say this: I think Notre Dame at least showcased a blueprint of how you deal with this team, and they couldn't execute it well enough. But they sat on the ball. They limited possessions. I thought they played about as good as they could. And even though it wasn't a blowout and the Irish covered, it really never felt all that close. And yet they did some really good things. and in terms of trying to keep it away from Mac Jones, Devontae Smith, and Najee Harris. So there's not much to take there. That game went about as well as it did, except the scoreboard was a little bit closer than I think we all expected. Clemson, Ohio State, that I've thought about this game a lot. I've watched it again, and I look at two things. You know, we talk so much about emotion coming into this game with Dabo ranking Ohio State 8th or 11th, and all that. A couple of things happened that changed this game. Travis Etienne got a little banged up in that first drive. They were going around the edges. They were picking up huge yardage. Etienne gets a little banged up. Trevor Lawrence misses a wide-open tight end that probably would have scored and made it 14-0. And then all of a sudden, everything flips. Everything changes. And I guess my big takeaway, and sort of the natural transition to this game, is, of course, Justin Fields takes the just an unbelievable shot. I'm assuming there are broken ribs in there. I'm not a doctor. I don't know that information. This is just me assuming, looking at a man's helmet and his reaction. And I think the question really that you have to start with is, what is the lingering effects of that? And you will know nothing about that until after the game, because Ohio State has very, and wisely, by the way, said, we're not going to tell you anything about the diagnosis. Yeah, I think Ryan Day was asked yesterday, is there no updates to report or something along those lines, and that's not at all shocking.
Well, we've got ourselves a fascinating matchup, and we also have a Heisman Trophy winner who is not a quarterback, which is exciting.
It is,
and is in fact a wide receiver, and one that you were on the forefront of this call for a while. Adam Kramer, in calling for Devontae Smith to win the Heisman. And there was a time, when that seemed fanciful and probably unlikely to happen. And yet here we are, and it did, in fact, happen. A unique combination of some pandemic stuff and just an overwhelmingly impressive season. Deservedly so. I'm glad he won it. I'm still a little bit surprised, even though it kind of looked obvious. It looked inevitable at the end, but I'm still surprised to see it. But I'm thrilled because there's no question that Devontae Smith was the best college football player in America this year.
I'm thrilled for him. I've known Devontae for a few years. I've talked with him before. I've written about him. But beyond that, this was the best player. This was the most deserving. And what I'm hopeful for now, beyond just, I'm just happy, is that this does change things. And yet, when you look at the future betting for next year's Heisman, and I haven't done a huge dive, I'll do that in the next couple of weeks for sure, you see some things that are very familiar, which is a lot of quarterbacks playing for really good teams. So I don't necessarily think the award's going to be flipped on its side. But I do think when you look at how things stacked up, when you've got more than 900 people voting for this award, that's a lot, by the way, it's too many, it becomes clear that at least a good number, hundreds of people, are recognizing greatness outside of quarterback. Does that mean we're going to see a defensive player win it next year? No. Does that mean it's going to become regular for a wide receiver to win? Probably not. But it's a start. And for those of us who have wanted that, I think that's really exciting.
Adam, we had some texters asking about the Bama-Ohio State game. I know you talked about it earlier. And he says that he likes the under. Would you take that bet at all?
Yeah, I like the under too, actually. I do. So I mentioned a little bit about ball control. So I like the under in Alabama Notre Dame as well, because I thought they would try to sit on it. And I think there's a few reasons I like the under. As explosive as these offenses are, what I could really see happening here, and I could be completely wrong on this, by the way, because there's so many weapons, it'll be interesting, is this become a Trey Sermon, Najee Harris game. So we get all distracted by the bright, shiny things and the big plays, and Justin Fields with hurt ribs connecting on two huge deep balls, Mac Jones flinging it around to Devontae Smith, and there's going to be plenty of that. But I think the story of this game really is going to be two brilliant running backs. Najee Harris is, number 5 finisher in the Heisman. Trey Sermon has been on one. Rushed for more than 500 yards in the last 2 games.
Can we also just take a moment to appreciate Najee Harris's hurdle in the national semifinal? Maybe the greatest hurdle in football history.
Ridiculous. I mean, he's 235 pounds. I mean, absolutely insane talent. So I just think it's going to be that type of game. 75.5 is an enormous total. So to me, when I look at a game of this magnitude, I factor in nerves, I factor in play style. I don't think Ryan Day is going to want to go fast here. I think teams are going to want to settle in. What's a little scary is, and I got burned like this with A&M and North Carolina. I had the under in that game, the Orange Bowl, and I felt really good about that. And then they scored 31 points in the fourth quarter. So that can happen, okay, in a game like this with so many players. But I do like the under. That's definitely where I'm leaning.
It is an interesting it's an interesting possibility, and I think that makes me a little nervous with the amount of firepower those teams have. But I see what you're saying. It's been a wild story to think about. How different it's gone a little bit differently than we would have expected, but the outcome is probably going to end up being the same. And the fact that Alabama has done this without Jalen Waddle for the majority of the season has been pretty amazing too. That's really opened the door for Devontae Smith to just gobble up possessions and touchdowns and everything else. Do you think Waddle can return? Is that a legitimate thing? There's a lot of talk about it, and obviously he is a game changer. Even if he can only be a special teams threat, even if he can only be somewhat limited and just play a few snaps, his threat is unique.
His threat is unique, and the threat of his threat is unique, right? So let's, you think about him. If you look at the numbers he posted through 4 games before he got injured on that opening kickoff, they were probably better or on pace with what Devontae Smith has done. It's hard to say better, but he was doing that thing. And I think when I started hearing this news, I thought, well, this is some gamesmanship, and it's going to give Ohio State some things to think about. The more people I've talked to, the more legitimate this sounds. Now, that doesn't mean he's going to play yet, but there is a much better chance of it than I would have imagined. And in fact, it sounds, I don't think Alabama, he's trying, and they're trying to get him up to speed. He's been off a while. I think the really interesting thing about this and his decision is, look, this is an era of opt-outs, right? This is an era of players protecting themselves, their best interests, the future, their families, all of that. We're all for that. This is a potential top 10 pick in the upcoming draft. And he, by all accounts, really wants to play. And I just think there's so many combination of things and trends coming together that if we could see Jalen Waddle on a college football field one last time, and this is it, this will be the one last time, that would be really exciting. And I guess I'm still unsure. It does feel coin flip-ish, but where I was a few days ago and where I am now, I've heard he looks good. I've heard he is healthy. I think at this point, if I had to pick, is he going to play or not, I'd probably say, yeah, I think we're going to see him.
Should we panic about Clemson? Is Dabo losing his touch?
No. No, because,
okay.
The quarterback next year is, we saw against Notre Dame throw for 400 yards, right? Now, let's not panic, but let's have an honest conversation. Where Clemson looked completely overwhelmed was offensive line, defensive line, right, in that game. Where Clemson looked really overwhelmed, it was a place that, the Alabamas and the Ohio States of the world tend to dominate. I don't think it's fair in a one-game capsule to say that's a problem. In fact, the day after, I think Clemson picked up, or a couple days after, picked up, the commitment of a 5-star offensive lineman. So they're going to continue to recruit and develop. There's a lot of talent that's gone through that program. You look at the receivers, T. Higgins and, guys like that who really help them. I think Clemson is perfectly fine. I think they're going to remain dominant. I think the trenches need to be a focus, specifically that offensive line. And, look, you're replacing a 5-star quarterback with a 5-star quarterback that you got some seasoning with this year, who is physically more impressive than Trevor Lawrence. I'm not saying he's better, DJ's going to come in next year and be the most impressive physical quarterback in the country, and I don't think it'll be close. We'll see what happens. I think they need to do things a little bit differently. And again, I think that offensive line is a problem because if you look at the rest of this year too, they never really got like Travis Etienne running the ball. A lot of it was like, wow, he spun out of that 60 yards or throw it to space. I think getting a little bit more ground and pound. If I'm Dabo, I'm watching what Trey Sermon did to take pressure off your quarterback and saying, I need to do more of that. And I think they can. They're going to continue to recruit. They'll continue to develop. They're in a position to be a really dominant team for a while longer.
Let's talk about the real story in college football, though. And that is Tennessee going to fire Jeremy Pruitt?
Well, here's how I read it, right? I read it as, and I was interested to talk to you about this. There's recruiting violations, air quote, and I read it as the lawyers are involved. And if they don't have to pay this buyout, then, like, they're going to pull that ripcord immediately. We hear about things like a hiring freeze. We read about Philip Fulmer sitting in on interviews. This sounds awful, okay? I mean, this just sounds bad.
It's what a phrase, by the way. One of the incredible dual phrases of all time. A hiring freeze at Tennessee.
Yes. That is. I mean, so, I'm just reading this as they're digging in and they're trying to figure out a way to not have to pay the guy, right? And I don't have that. That's not being reported. That's just me sputtering things out of my mouth. Like, that feels like what is exactly going on here and why this move has not been made yet. Because if they don't have to pay, that's going to make things a lot easier for them.
Yeah, I think if Philip Fulmer hadn't given that extension, I think it would be a lot easier to just kind of pull the ripcord right now. That looks very regrettable based on this season and the way things have gone. And I would say I think you're right. I think the lawyers are certainly involved here. They're trying to figure out if they can fire for cause and avoid paying a buyout, a fairly sizable buyout. I think we've learned at this point in the Jeremy Pruitt era. And I don't necessarily think that Hugh Freeze. I'm not against it per se. I think there probably are some better fits for Tennessee, but Jeremy Pruitt is not the guy. I just feel very confident now in saying that. Based on, I genuinely would have to struggle, and you can know this. There have been some bad jobs, but I don't think I've seen a coach at a high major program bungle a quarterback position worse than Jeremy Pruitt did this year with Tennessee. I mean, they literally went through 4 different quarterbacks, often 2 or 3 in a game, sometimes possession by possession, with now quarterbacks leaving, 2 of them in the transfer portal, as our friend Anthony Sane likes to say, already. No significant questions about where they're going to go with it. I mean, can you think off the top of your head of any more bungled major program, the most important position on the field just being throttled like this?
Maybe not to this degree, or at a program with this sort of historical stature, right? We've seen bad quarterback play, and we've seen bad quarterback play in places where it shouldn't exist. But this is like, and by the way, I mean, you get a Vatex, Hendon Hooker coming. Yeah, Hendon Hooker. It's kind of a big deal. That's like it. But what's in the era of the transfer, the portal and everything else, and even the eligibility stuff this year. I mean, that's like a stopgap potentially, and that's a big deal for whomever's the coach, because that's not a bad player. So no, none really come to mind, and I think the problem was you never had a confidence that it was just like the duct tape model of just keep applying more duct tape, right? And that was what it felt like, and frankly, that was what the optics were. It's we've come a long way here. When you think about the hiring, Schiano, the reaction, the re-reaction, the momentum forward where he looked like the guy, the recruiting that was going so incredibly well. It's been a ride, man. It's been a really interesting ride over the last
not a fun one.
Not
a fun ride. No, not a fun ride. I can tell you that.
It's not fun. It had some highs. This looked like this might work, and it turned very, very fast.
It happens a lot for Tennessee. I'm also going to say, Adam, as a parting shot, I don't know if it's something you can kind of put together or think about. Just put this in the back of your mind. I've really stood by this. I don't have a lot of hard data necessarily, but I do believe in it. I think the era of the old ball coach being the athletic director is over. And I think it's actively hurtful to programs now when you throw the old coach up there, the old Barry Alvarez, the old Philip Fulmer. Let's let the old ball coach get up there and now start running the program. I mean, that used to be the thing. That was the thing you do. You just basically retired up to the AD's office. But I think that has led to so many bad decisions, and in the case of Tennessee, some really bad management of this situation, and made it actively worse. I think a more on the ball, a more CEO style AD wouldn't have been caught like this. I
go back to the original, which is Barry Alvarez, which has had some moments, and it's sort of, I guess, now in a place of comfort. But Paul Chryst personality is a little bit different. If your AD is watching film, something is terribly wrong. Okay, something is horribly wrong if your AD is sitting in the room watching film. And I'm sorry, that's not a good working environment for anybody. No. But above all, I'm totally with you. I get it. But why do schools think that you need a Philip Fulmer in that position to be celebrated? If an AD makes a great hire, he's going to be celebrated for a long time. This is not a position where you need a mascot, in my opinion. Coach, a little bit different. Like the coaching stuff, you may need to win the room over. Do you really need to win the room over with an AD? Because whatever he does with that first hire or that second hire, that's going to dictate his legacy.
Right.
So we really think too hard about this, and this stretches to a larger problem. Who's making these decisions? Who's paying the buyouts for coaches, for ADs? Who's behind the scenes pulling the strings? As you and we all know this, it's not just like a couple of people inside the department saying, we need to hire Philip Fulmer. It's that big money behind the scenes that's saying, you know what?
Yep.
I'm going to probably cut things off unless you hire my guy. And that stinks, but that's the way it is. And if you want a perfect summary of how college football works, look at the Texas situation with Steve Sarkisian, right? And I actually like that.
We haven't even talked about that.
But that's exactly it. That was not Texas all of a sudden waking up one morning and saying, you know what? That was people with a lot of money saying, here's a big $15 million check to make Tom Herman go away, and I want this guy. Texas said, okay, thanks for your money.
Don't mind if I do. Quickly, your ultimate pick. Forget about it from a betting standpoint. Just on the field, Alabama, Ohio State. And there is betting. I like Alabama to cover. I'll lay the 8. It's a weird number now. It's bouncing between 7.5. I've seen some 9s out there. Yeah.
So I'll take Alabama. I don't think this is going to be a blowout, but I do think it's going to be kind of in that Notre Dame-ish range. And there's kind of a mention. I think it's going to be lower scoring. I did have an official score out there. I think I had the total somewhere in the low 60s. Alabama 38. Ohio State kind of 24, something in that range. This is the best team all year long, and as good as Ohio State is, and what a game that was, I just think Alabama seals the deal here. And I think it will be very interesting as we talk about historically what this Alabama team, where this team stacks up, because I think it's a very interesting argument.
It's good stuff. We're going to follow you at Kegs and Eggs on Twitter to get the latest as well, and we'll be watching, and we'll talk to you next week. And, there's plenty more on the agenda. This is going to be a very busy offseason for sure. Adam Kramer, thank you.
Thanks, guys.
He's the best. Adam Kramer, love talking to Kramer every Friday. We'll continue with this line of conversation, also get to the wild card matchups this weekend when we return here on Sports 56 Mornings.
Listen online anywhere, anytime at sports56whbq.com.
I want to do some bragging rights. Hey, I was just the other day overhearing a conversation with Big Mike, the manager of DeSoto Auto Sales. They've got people buying cars all over the country. North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, Alabama, Arkansas, Texas. People from all over the country buy cars at DeSoto Auto Sales in Olive Branch, Mississippi. Why? DeSoto Auto Sales has the most stringent car inspection in America. They get it right the first time. Quality and low mileage, factory warranty on most vehicles. My favorite part is the people who work there. Big Mike, all the employees are professional, friendly, and go that extra mile. Expect as you walk in the door, you're treated like family. DeSoto Auto Sales understands your time matters. We can help you find your dream car and get all the paperwork finished in less than an hour. Come see us at DeSoto Auto Sales and be part of our family. Have a great buying experience every time. 662-890-7184.
What do you want a da-da-da? What do y'all want a da-da-da? I have no idea what a da-da-da. We could switch to Progressive da. Oh yeah? We could switch to Progressive and okay. We could and have to buy some za. Oh yeah, let's switch to Progressive da and get some za with the money we saw. Yeah! Now we know we're gonna da-da-da.
These days, nothing is normal and everything is weird. But you could still save big when you switch to Progressive. It might just be the most normal thing you da-da-da.
Quote to da at Progressive.com.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
Listen up, football fans. I've got the perfect way to make the playoffs even more exciting this weekend. It's called a same-game parlay bet, and they're only available on FanDuel Sportsbook. A same-game parlay bet lets you combine multiple bets from a single game for an even bigger win. You can combine the money line, the over-under, and player props all in one parlay. And best of all, FanDuel is letting you place a same-game parlay bet risk-free. All FanDuel customers, you can get up to $10 back on your bet if you don't win. The playoffs are the perfect time to give one a shot. It's just one of the many ways to win on FanDuel. If you haven't already, just download the FanDuel Sportsbook app and sign up to get started. And use my promo code GASMAN at sign up. That's promo code GASMAN at sign up. If you are a current customer, then you are all set. Go check out same-game parlays only available on FanDuel Sportsbook. Must be 21 or older and present in Tennessee. Refund issued as non-withdrawable site credit that expires in 7 days. Max refund $10. Terms apply. See sportsbook.fanduel.com for details. For problem gambling support, call 1-800-889-9789.
If you need glass replaced, there's only one name you need to know. Ben Swinger Glass, the largest full-service glass company in the U.S. They've been an industry leader for over 125 years. For all your residential, commercial, or auto glass needs, Ben Swinger Glass is the name you need to know. 24-hour emergency service for all commercial customers, plus a nationwide warranty on all professionally installed glass. 2 Memphis locations, one in Midtown, on Hollywood Street across from the Liberty Bowl, and one in Cordova, off Germantown Parkway next to the Fox and Hound. Visit their website, benswingerglass.com. Ben Swinger Glass.
Attention foodies, there's a great new place to eat in a great restored building. South Hall Cafe is now open for breakfast, brunch, and lunch in the former Tobacco Corner. Chef Jesus Ramon is creating classics from scratch with a twist. Enjoy all your favorites, including the best cheese grits in the South, a full bar, an in-house pastry chef, catering, online ordering for curbside or delivery, and a covered patio with live music on the weekends. We're open 7 a.m. to 2 p.m. weekdays and 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. on weekends. South Hall Cafe, corner of Poplar and Mendenhall.
Sports 56 traffic.
Still dealing with the crash on I-240 southbound at South Parkway. The right lane, right shoulder is still blocked due to that accident. Also, we have a brand new accident on I-240 westbound at Poplar Avenue. Left lane and the left shoulder is blocked. It's a multi-car crash. Traffic is definitely stacking up in that direction. So I-240 westbound at Poplar Avenue, left lane and left shoulder is blocked. And that is your Sports 56 traffic update.
Welcome back to Sports 56 Mornings with Peter Edmiston.
Yes, I will be good, I promise.
Co-hosting Sports 56 Mornings is Anthony Sane.
That's great, man.
Now, back to Peter and Anthony.
Boys will be boys, better let them have their toys. Girls will be girls, cute ponytails and curls. Must put an end to the stress and strife. I think I want to live the sporty life. Good time.
Yeah. Funky Friday, hour number 2 continues here on the program. A reminder, it's a funky wild card weekend as well. And FanDuel Sportsbook has got the action for you. In fact, you could pick any team. If you're a new user, have I got something for you? You can pick any of the teams that are competing, any of the 12 that are out there. You want to take them, you can, and you get 25-1 odds on them. So, I mean, what better way to say you want to take those Saints? You feel like you've seen Alvin Kamara might be back in the mix, so now you're feeling really, really confident about the Saints against the Bears. Boom, no problem. You think Tom Brady is going to handle my Washington football team easily? Hey, you know what? Pick him. You get 25-1 odds if you're a new user. You can't beat it. It's a great way to start Wild Card Weekend. Check it out. FanDuel Sportsbook. Download the app and on your Android device or your iOS device and start working right now, because if you're in the state of Tennessee, you don't have to be a resident. You just have to be physically present in the state of Tennessee. You can bet legally and easily, and I encourage you to have some fun. Yep. Check it out. It's great. Max winning $125. You have to bet in the selected boost market. New users only. Check it out. FanDuel Sportsbook. Sportsbook.fanduel.com. For problem gambling, call 1-800-889-9789. It's going to be awesome. I've been enjoying it. You will too. Check it out. FanDuel Sportsbook. All right. Speaking of those wild card games this weekend, it's the first time we've seen a wild card weekend like this,
right,
where we have a little expanded action.
A little slight expansion, but just it's
it's
it's an expansion.
It definitely changed things a little bit. You're seeing some 7 seeds in the mix for the first time in a while. Mm-hmm. The games on Saturday, we start with Colts and the Bills. Bills are about a touchdown favorite in this one. Then Saturday we have Rams Seahawks. Seahawks field goal favorite, and then we finish off with the Washington football team hosting, because division
champions, of course.
Of course.
The Buccaneers, even though the Buccaneers are a 8.5-point favorite. The Titans will be playing on Sunday in the opener against the Ravens. We saw what happened last year as Derrick Henry just obliterated them. There'll be a little extra push to, a little push for the Ravens to get some revenge there. Titans are a 3-point underdog in that game. Bears and Saints. Saints 9.5-point favorite against the Bears. And then Browns and Steelers. Browns will not have their coach because of COVID. They will be missing 2 or 3 players as well as a result of COVID. So a lot there. Within those games, Anthony Sane, which ones are you looking most forward to? As, of course, you've been doing a lot of NFL Titans previews on your own. So I see to your NFL knowledge here.
Yeah, man. You stick with me, man. Stick with me. I'll, of course, be watching Tennessee and Baltimore. It's part of my obligations with FanSharp. So check that out at fansharp.com. It's going to be an interesting game. Like I said in the preview that came out yesterday, the Titans got to get out early. They got to get Derrick Henry going. I think this is a good opportunity for Tannehill to prove that he's more than just a guy that can hand the ball off to Derrick Henry. And I think he's going to have an opportunity to make plays, and I think it's actually going to happen. I think the Titans will beat them, but there's something in the back of me that just back when I was like real Tennessee Titans fan, like Steve McNair, Eddie George days, like I remember those teams. Mm-hmm. I just remember the Ravens breaking our hearts so many times in the playoffs that it's hard for me to say, yeah, the Titans are about to beat the Ravens. You know what I mean? That's a hard prediction to make, but I've got a feeling that the Titans will end up being triumphant in this game. But it's Baltimore, man, and it's Lamar Jackson, so you know how that goes.
I don't know how that goes.
Lamar Jackson's incredible, man.
He is.
I mean, you know what I mean?
I'm just kidding.
He's one of those dudes.
He's gonna be really good. He's gonna throw a lot of touchdown passes in this game, I think.
Yeah. I don't know. It's hard to say, bro. Like I really feel like Tennessee has kind of got right at the right time. But especially come out the momentum of how good they played last game, even though that game, they should have ran away with that game or whatever. But yeah, it's the 22, 23-year-old Anthony Sane, who was a Nashville Titans fan. It's just so many memories of Baltimore just crushing us and ending the season. So,
well, here's the thing. If you're going to we saw it at the end of the game last week. We've seen it throughout the season. If you're going to beat the Titans, obviously you've got to do your best to control Derrick Henry, and that's easier said than done. But you also, I think, even more important for Baltimore is going to be taking away guys like A.J. Brown in the play-action game because, with the threat of Derrick Henry is so real, then you commit so many guys to defending the rush, which means that you're going to put eventually a corner or maybe even a safety, depending on the coverage, in one-on-one, very high leverage situations. And the athleticism, they got a great receiving core, and you saw last week some great plays made, one-on-one. That's going to open those up. You have to be aware of that threat. So how does Baltimore control the play-action game? How are they able to keep Tannehill from, because that's really he's not an elite quarterback or anything like that, but when you give him an opportunity, you give him time, and that play-action works the way that it has in the past.
He can win games with you. He
can make the throw. He can make the throw. So how will Baltimore deal with that? How will Baltimore make it hard for Tannehill, make it less difficult, take away that first option, make him get on the move a little bit, because that will reveal his limitations pretty quickly, right there. So I think, but I also think that Lamar Jackson's going to get loose with his feet. I think you'll see a lot more running from Lamar Jackson. Because I think the Titans are going to have to scheme up, and you're going to have to give up something with Baltimore, and he can certainly throw it, but I think he's going to have a big day on the ground.
And I'm a like I said, at one point I was a very big Nashville Titans fan, and that kind of faded away. I kind of stopped caring about the NFL altogether as far as being like devoted to a team. But I'm a big Lamar Jackson fan, so. I don't know, man. It's gonna my heart is torn because I pull for the team down the state. I pull for the team in Tennessee. Unfortunately, there's no Memphis is not a part of Tennessee, but they're close enough for me to claim them. But yeah, I want to see Nashville do well, but Lamar Jackson's incredible, and I pull for the brothers. I pull for brothers who look like. They've been cold a long time. Like they was the cold little kid in middle school that couldn't nobody deal with. You know what I mean? That kid that makes you extremely cold as a little kid.
He does look like that.
He looks like he's been cold all his life. Like it's his. I was working at the YMCA doing this virtual academy stuff, and the kids had free time. It was this kid that was like 9 years old, could throw a football from one end of the gym to the other. He was like 8. I was like, dude, and he was playing basketball with middle school kids. So I'm like, yeah, this kid is gonna be, that kid's gonna be the next Lamar Jackson. You know what I mean? Like you can tell he's just one of those guys who's been incredible forever, just high level athlete ever since he was a toddler. So yeah, I'm a big Lamar Jackson fan, but I would love to see Tennessee come away with the win. Nashville come away with the win. Sorry.
So are you picking them?
Yeah, I'm picking the Titans, but it's gonna be rough. It's gonna be a hard game.
Man, it's gonna be big. Our friend Scotty, who's a big Titans fan, says the Titans have beaten the Ravens twice in Baltimore. Also have the only team in history with a 2,000-yard rusher, 40-plus touchdowns, quarterback, and 1,000-yard wide receiver. They do have a lot of different options. There's no doubt about that. The Titans, it's been a real good day, bad day situation with them because they've had good days and looked great, and they've had bad days and looked awful, and they can kind of do. Either one, depending on what happens. So the question is just going to be which Titans team shows up. But I hope we see like playoff Henry last year. That was great to watch. And hit this year, 2000. He's so good, just incredible, and pleasure to watch. So I'm pulling for him. I'd rather see them than the Ravens with respect to Lamar Jackson, who I think is great. But I'd much rather see the Titans do their thing. So
yeah,
I'm pulling for the Titans. I think they'll win, only for that reason.
The Nashville Titans.
No, they're the state of Tennessee Titans.
I don't live in Tennessee.
They got a big East Tennessee following.
Yeah,
a big West Tennessee following outside of Memphis. So
yeah, I don't
basically
live in
the entire state outside of Memphis. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, you can call them the Tennessee Titans. They're definitely the Tennessee Titans.
Okay.
Memphis is just not really.
I just call them Nashville because sometimes I might want to claim Tennessee, sometimes I don't. But I don't ever want to claim Nashville, so I don't want to ever connect myself to that. So.
Did you tell the people at FanSharp that or no?
Actually, I did. I told them I'm the voice of the Titans. I told them the local.
You didn't mention that? Okay, yeah.
I told them I'm the local voice of the Titans.
Mike Key.
Yeah, Sane Keith over here. Sack! The Titans take over on the 20-yard line.
I like Derrick Henry gets it.
First down.
15, 10, 5, end zone. Touchdown! Whoa. Whoa. What happened there?
Like the decibels going through the roof, man.
I worry about it.
Mike Key was an OG though, man. What station are they on? I don't know. I can't get into all that. But yeah,
what are you doing? What are you doing out here?
I haven't.
They're not on this one. Then don't. Don't search for him.
I ain't heard him.
Don't search for him.
I haven't heard.
Don't search for it.
I haven't heard Mike Key in years. Like I don't even know where yeah, my bad, bro.
You can hear NFL playoff action right here on Sports 56. That's
Saturday,
right.
the Colts and the Buffalo Bills at 11:30.
Good Lord.
Tampa versus the Washington football team at 7:30.
Good
Sunday, Baltimore, Tennessee, Chicago, New Orleans, and Cleveland at Pittsburgh.
Jeez Louise.
On Sports 56. You can also hear Ole Miss versus South Carolina. I hope that's basketball. Yeah.
Yes.
Basketball here Saturday at 4:30.
What do you think it is?
I don't know.
Hey, football.
We're the station for Ole Miss, the official station of Ole Miss, man. Whatever you want to hear is going to be right here.
No, that's not true. But with basketball-wise, you'll hear that for sure.
Basketball and football. We get basketball, football, baseball, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, as long as I can catch my Rebels, man.
You did a good job making up for it.
my land.
We'll come back. We'll have to have a little discussion about the protocols here when we come back. Hour number 2 continues in the Family Leisure Studio.
Touchdown!
Peter Sain.
Sack!
Same great shows.
We welcome you back to Sports 56 Middays.
What's up? It's Sports 56 Happy Hour.
A new spot on the FM dial. Check out Sports 56 on our new FM home at 98.5.
Do not wait for summer. Get your pool now. During the early bird pool sale at Family Leisure through February the 7th, you can reserve your installation spot on your new pool purchase from Family Leisure. You know the prices like the temperature. They'll go up when it gets warmer, so you must reserve yours now. Family Leisure has hundreds of spas on order, so reserve yours now. The early bird pool sale's happening now at Family Leisure, Whitten Road at I-40, where family and fun come together.
At First Bank Mortgage, their core purpose is to help you get to a better place. That better place may be a lower monthly payment, that vacation you thought was impossible, or getting into a home with a fenced backyard where your kids can play. To get into your better place, First Bank Mortgage makes decisions right here at home. Dedicated to helping you get to your better place, First Bank Mortgage. Call Daniel Mooney at 901-462-0145 today. NMLS 741022. Equal housing lender.
Hey, we understand. With everything that's happening, with all the new regulations, maybe you're not ready to come and hang out at Sweetgrass to catch a ball game. We want you to, we really do, and we're open for you to do just that. But we're also offering the next best thing, the new Sweetgrass Tailgate Party Packs. Whether it's wings, house-made dips, sliders, or other Sweetgrass tasty treats, all you have to do is call us or go to sweetgrassmemphis.com to order just what you're dreaming of when you're dreaming of watching sports and enjoying some sweet, sweet Sweetgrass.
If you're going on vacation, making a college campus visit, or if business takes you out of town, there's just no better place to board your dog than Barks and Recreation, 965 Reddick Cove between Bud Davis Cadillac and the Blue Plate Cafe in East Memphis. Boarding, daycare, grooming, we have the best of everything at Barks. Indoor-outdoor kennels so your family member can go in and out as they please. Indoor and outdoor play areas. 4 walks a day. Group play and individual attention from the best staff in the Mid-South, which includes an overnight staff to ensure the safety and comfort of your pet 24 hours a day. All reasons to choose Barks and Recreation above all other boarding and daycare facilities. BarksDaycare.com or 509-0909. Check us out and make your reservations now at BarksDaycare.com. If your dog could speak, he'd say Barks.
Welcome back to Sports 56 Mornings with Peter Edmiston.
Yes, I will be good, I promise.
Co-hosting Sports 56 Mornings is Anthony Sain.
That's great, man.
Now, back to Peter and Anthony.
You say you're going through changes. Every day seems your life.
Welcome back, Sports 56, 96.1, 98.5. I am Peter Evans, City's Anthony Sane, and Kari Thompson coming up to begin hour number 3 on this funky Friday. You know what's a good funky Friday little meal? Go to check out our friends Central Barbecue.
I was about to guess that.
Just go pick. Well, you know what? I wasn't going to let you guess. After last segment, I wasn't going to let you guess.
Oh, you mean?
Nope, not going to do it. Central Barbecue, ladies and gentlemen. It's you're gonna love it. It's check it out. It's fantastic. It is my spot in the Bluff City, and you go there, and the great thing is you can just start smelling it, and your mouth starts to water, and you start to, you get right there and you just know it's going to be some delicious slow-smoked Memphis-style ribs. Get them wet, get them dry, your choice, or go half and half. Either way, a nice slab of ribs is a great way for your family to enjoy a Friday evening. Or let me just throw this out there too, a whole bunch of wings. Not the worst idea in the world. I think you're going to love it. Go and check that out. You can do that. Or, again, just another option. How about some of that delicious smoked turkey, some of the brisket, the shoulder you know about. Pulled pork is spectacular, of course. And that smoked bologna. Big old thick cut. Fantastic.
Nothing wrong with a thick cut.
Takes you all the way back, man. It is wonderful. So whatever your option is, whatever you want, they've got you covered at any of their 4 locations: downtown, East Memphis, Central, Summer, and online at eatcbq.com. It is Memphis through and through. It is Central Barbecue. Of course, we mentioned the games that are coming up this weekend in the NFL playoffs. I gotta just be honest, okay? Just be honest with me. All right. Don't sugarcoat it.
All right.
Does my Washington football team have a chance against Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay? This is the first time in his playoff run that Tom Brady will be participating in Wild Card Weekend.
And that's wild.
That's pretty crazy because he's been in 20 playoffs, or it feels like.
Yeah, I think you guys do. Your defense is good. Your defense is good, top tier good.
Yeah.
And Tom Brady,
Chase Young, my man Chase Young.
Right.
Come on.
We don't know what version of Brady the Great we're about to see. I think the spread might be a little too big in Tampa Bay's favor because Tampa Bay's been an up and down team, and we've seen that once Brady gets rattled, he turns into old man Brady. But we don't know how much he's got left in the tank. We don't know if he's saving. This is when Tom Brady's known for the playoffs. You know what I mean? So we don't know what version of him we're going to see. So I think that because we don't know, I think you guys definitely have a chance to pull this off. You're at home, whatever that means in this environment. You're not on the road. So I guess that's better.
Okay, that is what it means. That is definitely. Basic,
right?
On a very basic level, that's what it means. Yes.
I think being at home, even in a empty or partially empty, I'm not sure how they're doing it. Environment is better than being not in that environment. So, but yeah, that's another good game to keep an eye on because I think that spread's a little too high. Tampa Bay's had flashes where they've been great, and they had flashes where they look bad. And I think Washington's defense is good enough to, to play spoiler, so to speak, this weekend. And you can hear that game here on Sports 56. Saturday at 7:30 p.m.
Perfect. Beautiful.
Right.
Well done.
You can Zoom call me and I can give some play-by-play while you listen. Just make sure you're tuned in. Have your good box radio out at the house. Tuned in to AM 560.
I want to see Chase Young do some damage to old Tom Brady.
I'd be down.
Get after him. And here's what I think you're going to love, ladies and gentlemen. All the folks here in the Bluff City, listen up. This is Antonio Gibson's time to shine.
Yeah.
Former Tiger, who's had an outstanding season. He's going to be a big part of a shocking Washington victory.
You sound confident, like that's actually going to happen.
They're going to try. They're going to try their best because the quarterback situation is obviously not great for Washington. But they're going to try their best as a result to blitz like crazy. They
Right.
were a pretty heavy blitzing team. They're going to blitz even more, which means that Antonio Gibson is going to be a nice little safety valve.
Right.
And I think you're going to see him get some open field opportunities. I think you're going to see him do his thing, and I think they're going to get to Tom on the defensive side of the ball. I think they're going to get to him and rattle his chain.
I can see it.
So
we talked about Brady though. Alex Smith, man, he's a vet. He's been around.
He's just not healthy. He's not healthy. Is the only thing.
He's big playoff Smith,
as per usual. Yeah, I mean, if he's healthy, I feel a lot better than him and Taylor Heineke. I can tell you that. But
right,
remains to be seen.
But but in order for Washington to win, they have to run the ball consistently.
Zach, your opinion doesn't matter.
Yeah,
it
does.
You follow the Cowboys.
It does. It does.
You
matter.
sound like a hater. You sound like you're hating on Washington.
I'm not hating. Like, they got to run the football, and Alex Smith got to throw it down the field to keep the defense honest.
But it's never happened.
They have to keep the defense honest.
Never in this career.
Because once you key in on the checkdowns, then like you kind of screwed because Alex Smith is a tempo rhythm quarterback.
Right. Y'all got a chance though. I might throw a little some coin. I had a dream I was like big time FanDuel sports betting guy.
Well, you can make that dream come true.
Yeah, I might do that, man.
And you can get if you believe, then you can get 25 to 1 odds.
Hey, call me over the weekend, man. Show me how to make that happen. I need to start betting this game.
Here, I'll tell you what. I'm gonna send you a link.
Cause Mayor Mike said he got that money. That man said he bet $5 that the Grizzlies was gonna lose. It turned into 50.
There you go.
That's a lot of Central barbecue, bro. Well, yeah. You can feed
exactly
a family
right about that.
with the 50 piece off of $5.
Exactly right. That's right. Let's do it. Hour number 3 on the way. Kari Thompson going to join us when we come back.
Hi, this is Troy Five-Ash, owner of Five-Ash Roof Services. You've heard me talk about how we offer the best products, the best warranties, and the best services for years. Now let's talk about pricing. Pricing should never be the only reason you hire a contractor, but in today's world, pricing is always a consideration. So we suggest you get 2 or 3 estimates for your roof replacement from a reputable, licensed, and insured company, and then give us a call. If we can't beat your best price for a comparable roof system by more than $100, we'll give you $100. It's that simple. We are so sure we can offer you the best price, beating all other qualified companies. We will hand you $100 if we can't, and thank you for the opportunity. So give us a call. What's the worst thing that's going to happen? Make $100? Five-Ash Roof Services, a proud supporter of Tiger Athletics and the official roofer of the Tigers home team. Five-Ash Roof Services, fair, honest, and ethical. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
Five-Ash Roofing is what we do. We're here for you.
Grind City Brewing Company is taking care of beerness in Memphis. Grind City Brewing is the dream of a father and son duo to create a brand that delivers a high quality, great tasting, and easy drinking craft beer. And they've done it. The brewery sits high above the city elevation in uptown Memphis with 15,000 square feet of beerness, including a 5,000 square foot tap room. Grind City Brewing is committed to all things Memphis, including the Tigers. They have created a malt liquor called Tiger Tail that is the official craft beer of the University of Memphis. Tiger Tail comes in 16-ounce six-packs and is not your typical malt liquor. Tiger Tail is crafted with a bold and smooth flavor, has 7.5% alcohol, and its clean finish makes it incredibly easy drinking. Tiger Tail and Grind City Brewing, taking care of beerness in Memphis.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/news. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job in ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And now you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
The NFL playoffs are here, and it's my favorite time of the year. I can't wait to bet on all the action this weekend on FanDuel Sportsbook. And if you've never tried FanDuel before, the playoffs are the perfect time to give it a shot. Because right now, new users get an exclusive 25-1 odds boost on any team to win this weekend. That's right, 25-1 odds, any team, any playoff game this weekend. Personally, I love the Saints over the Bears on Sunday. So don't miss out on this exclusive offer. I've been betting football on FanDuel all season long. Just download the FanDuel Sportsbook app and use promo code GASMAN so they know I sent you. That's FanDuel Sportsbook, promo code GASMAN. Must be 21 or older and present in Tennessee. New users only. Must wager on designated boost market. Deposit required. Max bonus $125. See full terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. For problem gambling support, call 1-800-889-9789.
When you think about Memphis-style hot wings, you better be thinking about Crumpy's Hot Wings, because they're made from the freshest ingredients and always deliver that mouth-watering taste that you expect from your hot wings. Now you can visit their new location at 420 South Germantown Parkway. You can also call them at 901-207-1273 and see for yourself why Crumpy's is simply the best. Ask for the Sports 56 Special, which is 20 pieces of whole wings, large fries, and 4 drinks at just $38 for your family or group gatherings. Crumpy's Hot Wings, simply the best.
We are Sports 56 WHBQ Memphis, W253DF Memphis, and WIVG Tunica Memphis. Flynn Broadcasting Stations. Sports 56 traffic.
We're still working an accident on I-240 westbound at Poplar Avenue. The left lane and the left shoulder is blocked. Right now, traffic has starting to stack up as well in that direction, so please use an alternate route. That's I-240 westbound at Poplar Avenue. Left lane and left shoulder is blocked. And that is your Sports 56 traffic update.
Welcome back to Sports 56 Mornings with Peter Edmiston.
Yes, I will be good, I promise.
Co-hosting Sports 56 Mornings is Anthony Sane.
That's great, man.
This hour is brought to you by Acura of Memphis. Now, back to Peter and Anthony.
I'm told, just one try, and you too will be sold. It's called a freak, they're doing it night and day. Allow us, we'll show you the way.
Hour number 3, Freak Out. See what I did there? Hour number 3, Freak Out.
Yeah.
Pretty good. That's the kind of quality radio that I'm bringing you each and every day here on Sports 56, 96.1 and 98.5. I am Peter Edmiston. He is Anthony Sane. No funny nickname.
Yeah, I was just about to say that I didn't do anything today. I'm not a joking mood, man.
Yeah, you are. And Zach Boyd is also producing the program. As always, he's always just Zach. He never puts anything fun on his name either. But I don't either, so I can't really say anything about that. 67129 on the First Bank text line, 360-8255 on the First Bank phone line. We're here in the Family Leisure Studios, and this hour of the program is brought to you by our friends at Acura of Memphis. We haven't talked to this gentleman in a few weeks, so it's nice to get back in touch with our pal, your friend and mine, from the Commercial Appeal. He is Kari Thompson. Happy New Year, Kari. How are you, bud?
Happy New Year, Peter and Anthony and Zach and all the listeners. What's up?
What's going on, my brother?
How are you, man?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Can't complain at all.
It's been a lot. Been a busy year so far. 2021.
Been eventful.
Eventful. I think, like I said, we're just cleaning out the residue from 2020. I'm not giving up on 2021 just yet. So let's not give up on.
I'm an optimist. I think 2021 is going to be a great year.
Okay. I hope that is indeed. I hope that is indeed the case. Did you make any resolutions or anything?
I don't know. I started writing down my goals on I have this giant red wall in my apartment that's basically built out of giant Legos. Because I live in a studio downtown and it's all one big room. That's how I separate my bedroom from my living room. But I started just writing everything on Post-it so I can remember them. That's really the big thing. Is just sure I actually write down my goal.
Okay. All right. Okay. I think we can do that. That's good. You try and write it down. If you believe it, you can achieve it. That's what I've always been told, and I think that's that's very true. What are the stories right now that you're watching? I know you've written about Cameron Miller, the young man who's a 4-star, and he's got top 6, including Memphis, as well as Ole Miss, Tennessee, Alabama. You've charted what he's had to say. What's your thoughts on his recruitment and where he ends up?
Well, he what he expressed to me, which I think a lot of kids would say these days, it's all about who's recruiting them the hardest. Because I asked him, I was like, what's Tennessee doing on your list? They're like, what, 2 and 6? And he's like, man, I care about where I can play and where they show me love. And he's like, I talked to Jeremy Pruitt, and he asked me what number I want when I come down to Knoxville. It's like, what kid wouldn't be impressed by that type of pitch? You know what I'm saying? You can't discount Memphis. Obviously, I mean, his dad went there, the hometown school. Memphis is having its own success in its own right. And then the rest of the schools outside like Ole Miss. He likes Lane Kiffin. With the way Lane Kiffin runs his offense. Those other schools like Alabama, Auburn, Oregon, like those schools are contenders. They win. So it's a very interesting top 6 for sure. Memphis has a lot of Power 5 competition that they're going up against trying to get Cameron Miller.
Kari, got schools playing basketball, man. You talked about Westminster with their big time getting doubled up loss yesterday, 64-23 to St. Agnes. What is that scene looking like with the schools that are actually playing basketball?
There's it's the same as football, man. Private schools and suburban schools are getting after it. You were talking about girls hoops with Westminster. Right, man, Hutchinson's looking like a real good girls team this year, dude. Like, they have a girl who's going to Georgia Tech, Carmen Harrison. She's one of the top recruits in the country. They've been balling out. Olive Branch, who won the state title last year, still undefeated. Boys hoops, obviously, like you got Christian Brothers at the top of the pack since they beat Houston. You got Houston waiting on the Jonathan Lawson situation. Jonathan Lawson's enrolled, but I haven't heard if he's eligible yet. So waiting to see if they can add him. It's an interesting hoop scene for sure. But the story, to me, the big story of the week that I haven't even written yet, but I'll share it here. Whitehaven has 2 players in the national championship game Monday night. And they have a guy on both sides. Like Clemente Hamilton plays for Ohio State, and Josh McMillan plays for Alabama. And they both have very interesting stories as to how they got there and just what they're up to now.
It's pretty. Well, it's been tough. I mean, for everybody, we've talked about how difficult it is. It's even tough to the referees. Referees are making $25 less per night. They officiate until the end of the season out there. I mean, man, it's hard out here. Kari, geez.
Yeah, but I'm like pumped for those kids. I'm like, yo, like, how cool is it that as a high school you not only have kids playing in the national championship game, but you have them on both sides. It's like whoever wins, Whitehaven gets the ring.
That's pretty awesome. That's pretty awesome. That's gonna help. That's gonna help the area. There's no doubt. There's no doubt about that. Where does Dallin Hayden end up?
I don't know. I mean, his top 4 is very good. It's just like when you deal with those level of programs, it's like he's choosing between like
it's Notre Dame, Ohio State, Tennessee, and Oregon.
Right. So, I mean, the obvious one that people like to point at is his dad went to Tennessee, and his dad was very good at Tennessee, and his dad eventually went to the NFL out of Tennessee. So that's a well-established path. But obviously, as we know, like, you know, Chase, his older brother, is very good, and Chase, you know, went his own direction and ended up at Arkansas, and then recently transferred this week to Illinois. So for Dallin, when I talk to him, he's always saying, I want to be my own man. I want to make my own path. But, I mean, you can't discount the recruiting attention that Jeremy Pruitt is giving these guys in Memphis. Like, he's talking to them regularly. And they all, like, when I talk to these guys, they're telling me that, like, this dude wants us here. And this dude is always hitting us up. So that's a big thing. But you look at the caliber of, like, a Notre Dame and an Ohio State, and then that's just a different level. Like, that's an opportunity to potentially play in a college football playoff race in the national championship game. So, I don't know, man. I don't know where he's going to end up, but I do know that this is the last time he's narrowing his list. He said that he's not going to do like a top 3 or a top 2 or anything like that. He's just going to commit next time he narrows down his list. So, man, to me, like, I don't like speculating because I just talk to these kids and ask them. But you know, like, it seems like he likes all 4 schools, but like, I would definitely think he's looking at UT and Ohio State for sure.
What if they fire Jeremy Pruitt?
Good question. That's a good question. That's something that you know, you got to consider, man, because they have not been good. And then there's this investigation going too into Vol football. So, but you know, again,
well,
like,
and before I get too far though, I do want to mention, and you know, I don't know how much you can speak to this, but you may know a few things. Who knows? That investigation that's ongoing involves heavily Eric Gray, who was held out of the final regular season game against Texas A&M. There's some discussion about. There's certainly been some rumors, let's just say, about things that may have happened during his time at Lausanne, certain situations that he may have had opportunities. You know, different sorts of things. There's always rumors. You know, typically most big time guys end up with some rumors. You know, and maybe some disgruntled other teams start them or whatever. You know, a lot of times it's not true. But there's certainly been a lot of smoke around the Eric Gray situation. Have you heard anything with regard to any of that?
I have not. As you guys know, I've covered Eric pretty closely and gotten to know him and his family, but I have not reached out for an update on that situation. You know, I just remember Eric Gray being the first person I've ever covered when I came to Memphis. Like, when I moved here in the middle of the season in 2018 and I was new, I was like, who do I have to go see? They were like, go see Eric Gray. And I did that for, you know, you obviously do the recruiting story and stuff like that. And I just remember the very first video I posted on commercialappeal.com with Eric Gray talking about how he's 100% committed to Michigan. And, you know, I have him on video. Like, I have him on camera saying it. And so, you know, that was my introduction to Eric Gray and to Memphis and to the prep scene here. Fast forward a couple months and he decommits, and kids decommit all the time, you know, and obviously I don't have inside info into what his situation is, but you know, it was just an interesting situation to follow throughout that year. You know, if you'd watch that video, it's like, wow, this kid is doubling down. This kid is committed.
Yeah. And something changed. So who knows?
Who knows what?
Who knows what? Something certainly did change in that whole situation. All right. So we also saw in the meantime, you know, your beloved New England Patriots, not part of the festivities this weekend,
Oh man, I feel like I root for the Washington football team now.
I was going to ask, are you now? Me and you got this thing together because of your anti-Brady vibe right now. Are we in this thing together? Are you going to root for my Washington football team?
No, man, it's not anti-Brady. It's never been on anti-Brady.
Well, I don't care what it is. Call it what you want. Are you rooting for my team or not?
Plays up, huh?
Are you still pulling for Brady? You still pulling for Brady, bro?
Yes, bro. Did I never tell y'all?
Come on.
Did I never tell y'all Tom Brady was my favorite player growing up and was my first jersey that I ever had? I'm pretty sure I've told that story on the air before. Tom Brady's my guy. It's like that line from Wale, right? Like, Wale is like, tell Bron drop 50 unless he's playing us. Like, tell Brady throw for 400 yards unless he's playing us. Like, that's what it is. Sorry, Peter.
Yeah, he's all in.
I'm not thrilled about this at all.
He's all in.
It's not good. It's not good. I don't like it one bit. Ridiculous.
Come on, man. Hey, what do you think about the whole Dwayne Haskins situation, Peter? Were you shocked that they cut him? Do you think it was a good move?
I'm not shocked that they cut him. No, it was clearly not working. So that's number one right there. Number two, I would say, I'm only surprised in the sense that he was such a high pick, and they just pulled the ripcord. But everything has been so bad with him. Everything has been so tough. His maturity level, all that. So I'm not surprised that they just the stuff with the strip club and the strippers or whether he had them in the hotel room or whether he went to a club or just idiotic stuff. So it's not surprising to me that happened. The biggest shock is that he was definitely Daniel Snyder's guy. And so the fact that they were willing to cut ties with him so abruptly and pay to do it, I mean, it's going to cost them $8.5 million in dead money, tells you that, maybe Snyder's control of the franchise is slipping. Maybe he's, wanting to step away a little bit and allow the football people to actually run the team. That would be great news. So, it was obviously a wasted pick and a very unfortunate situation, but I'm glad it's over, to be honest.
Same, like with him being like a DC guy, like, do you think it's tougher to play in your own hometown? Like, I feel like that's like an added layer.
Yeah, it may be. It may be. I don't know. That's a good question as far as like his, him being a hometown guy and all that stuff. I don't know. I talked about it before. I was suspicious of the guy as soon as I saw him charging $50 a head for his draft party. I was like, no, we can't. I know his family is like entertainment, whatever. I don't care. You can't. As soon as I saw that, immediately red flags shot up. You can't. You can't be doing this. You can't be doing this. Come on, man. You can't. $50. Good Lord.
Yeah, we've had this debate, Carl. Peter just won't let that one go, man. I
can't let that go.
That sounds like I hate him more than me, bro. I ain't gonna lie.
I don't like it. I don't like it one bit. I can't let it go.
I mean, Carl, you get it, right? Like if it's not his draft party, it's kind of like when Ja had his quote unquote Rookie of the Year party that was hosted by Curtis Givens. Like that was a regular Curtis Givens event. It wasn't Ja's. It was like Ja Morant was charging people $50 to get in. Come on, hey, you sound like a hater, Peter. You sound unaware too, man. Come on, get into the culture, man.
Man,
no, I'm good. I'm good on that one. I feel like from a cultural standpoint, I feel like a lot more guys would probably be availing themselves of that if I were missing that.
It's not like he was charging his friends and family to come over to a shindig or a house set, bro. It was
I'm pretty sure he was. I don't know. I think that's exactly what was happening, as a matter of fact. So,
hey, you got for them years in the NCAA not getting paid, bro.
Hey, man, gotta recoup them funds some type of way, man.
I mean, I'm just pass the hat. Have an offering at your draft party. How about that? Before we have the draft, I'm expected to go soon. I'd like to just go ahead and pass the plate and whatever your conscience tells you. We're gonna play a little organ here, and you guys can just pass it along.
Did you see he had some type of event where like dancers were there. I don't know if they were adult dancers or not, but they all had to wear like his jersey number, like a shirt. That's a pretty boss move.
Yeah, wow.
I think if I was in a room full of exotic dancers and all of them had Anthony Sain jerseys on, I think I'd arrived at that point. And mask on, of course. Mask on.
No question.
I want to see because the party was at a bowling alley. I know that much, so it was nice. Nothing wrong with that. But his dad is clearly like the guy that his dad was as an entertainment individual. The all black affair was going on there at the bowling alley. So I would have done that, but not for $50 $50 a head.
You're hating, man.
Yeah. 300 family members and friends showed up. So $350 a pop. That's not bad. It's not a bad little chunk of change. 15,000 just to do your draft party. Not bad.
Right.
Not too bad at all. So what's your prediction ultimately for the game? Forget about all this other stuff. What's your prediction?
For the Redskins in Tampa?
No, the Washington football team in Tampa. Jeez Louise. Come on, man.
Wow, man. First of all, when are y'all going to get a name?
Yeah, man. It's so bootleg.
You got a great name. It's the Washington football team.
Being in the playoffs with no name. It's terrible.
Washington.
Whatever happened to like the Red Tails? Like that was the thing.
Hey, man, brother.
Amen, brother.
Yeah, I don't know. There was some pushback on that. I like the Red Clouds, Red Tails. It'd be nice, but it sounds like it may stay football team for another year. So I don't know. They seem to like the generic version.
Come on.
But I'm asking you, who's going to win the game? Forget about anything else. Who's going to win the game?
Sorry, I got another question too, man. It's a good.
Tampa,
spit it out.
Come on, man. You know this. Tampa got this. Don't be by.
All right. Spit out your question.
Got a quick question for you, Kari, before we go to the break, man. Just want to put you in the corner real fast. Boston Celtics players walked off the court when the event of everything that happened the other day. And several of your Boston Celtics fans had something to say. They also had something to say hating on Kyrie Irving for him taking missing games for personal reasons. What are your take on the racist Boston Celtics fans to which you are a member of?
And don't forget about Brevin Knight saying that on the air.
Yeah,
that
Brevin Knight saying
he could not
favorite
support
place to go.
any least favorite place.
What do you say in defense of the most racist fan base in NBA history that you remember?
Well, I'll say that the quote-unquote most racist franchise in NBA history actually was the first one to hire a black head coach and sign a black player.
Oh, okay. Kind of like Major League Baseball entering black players so they could get that black audience, right? That Negro League fan base. I got you.
Hey, man, I'm just saying, bro, like, for every, like, racist fan that, like, the N-word at Fenway Park, right? There's, like, a little black kid, like me, in the crowd, saying, why can't you guys behave? Feel me? Like, bro, like, that's what it is. Like, I'm like, that's not me, bro. Like,
I got you, man. I got you.
But, I mean, props to the Celtics for protesting, even though they did play. I guess you kind of have to play the climate because you can't just like suspend the season because things are not going to go the way they're supposed to go with our justice system. But I thought Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum represented us well talking about two Americans.
That's Kari Thompson, people known racist.
Yep.
Supporter enabler of racism in Boston.
Supporter of racist stuff.
All things racist. Supported by Kari Thompson.
You know me.
Kari, will you deny the allegations that it was actually you, the one black guy that was in the intrusion the other day that looked like he was getting his stimulus check? Can you deny that was not? Can you say here on the radio that was not you in those grainy pictures of the one black guy that was in?
Wait, what is this?
You haven't seen the picture of the only black guy who looks like he was just there to get his stimulus check and just all hell broke loose? I'll send it to you.
Yeah, terrible fade.
No. That guy. You're talking about that guy.
Oh, yeah, I was talking about that.
That might have been Kari.
Yeah, that might have been Kari.
No,
The shop did him wrong, man. Like, they did him wrong. They did him wrong.
Yeah, he's got to get a new guy.
Oh, God.
That did not go over well at all.
Oh, man.
Maybe doing that home haircutting situation, I don't know.
Yeah, man.
They probably
Black Barbers. You got to think, this ain't new. He's been on this whole thing. So Black Barber's like, nah, man, you ain't coming here with that, man. Nah, we ain't cutting you. We ain't cutting you, homeboy. We ain't cutting nothing, homeboy.
Or he
I'm
said,
good. I'm good.
Or he said, hey, man, like, I got this new cut for you, man. Like, you could try out once you go out and hang out with your people, man. Like, it's like, try this cut out.
Man.
All right. Kari Thompson, ladies and gentlemen. Check it out. Check out his work as he continues to help you to figure out where some of these kids are going to go. Follow this basketball that's happening right here in all the spring sports, which are starting in some form or another very, very soon. Thanks, Kari. Appreciate it, bud.
Appreciate it, y'all. Yeah.
All right, man.
@ Kari Thompson, if you want to check it out on the old Twitter. That'd be a good thing to do. Jaron Jackson just posting on his Instagram soon with a heart with a picture of him and Justice Winslow.
Yep, I saw that as well.
Hopefully that's tonight because the Grizzlies need to hopefully it's real soon because based on last night, it's.
I'm willing to double down that Ja's going to be back earlier than we think. I'm willing.
Yeah. It's certainly everything is pointing in that direction.
Yeah,
so
seems like they're trying to get these guys back out there. Yep.
They need him because it's getting worse and worse. We'll talk about that and turmoil already in Atlanta. As infighting amongst the Hawks. Anthony saying, I can't wait to get your take on this. When we come back, Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 98.5, 96.1.
You have opinions?
I think they got a lot of athletic ability.
We want to hear them.
Oh, absolutely. I agree with you.
Call us on the First Bank phone line at 360-8255 or text us on the First Bank text line at 67129.
Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
2021 is finally here. Might I suggest we start the wonderful new year with a makeover for your beautiful house. I'm Brian Elder. I'm a roofer. I fix roofs. Don't let them tell you that it has to be replaced when all it may need is some love. 867-0303. Let me love on your roof. I've made quite the reputation over the last decade as the guy to call after the insurance company denies the claim. Overturning a claim that has gone bad is an art form where you argue county code, manufacturer specs, and details of your policy that they have to abide by. So let me see it first. If I say it's a claim, it's a claim. 867-0303. Money is free at Brian Elder Roofing with 0% financing for half a decade. I'll measure your roof from outer space and get you a quote right over the phone. 867-0303 or BrianElderRoofing.com.
Call 867-0303. Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
Whether you're a pro on the job site or managing properties, clean and safe is your #1 priority. And Lowe's has the pro-grade cleaning supplies you need. We go beyond the basics, bringing you commercial cleaning from top brands like Clorox, Zep, and Rubbermaid. And in larger sizes, so you can take on any cleaning job, knowing you have the quantity you need. Shop Lowe'sForPros.com and have your items delivered, or pick up in store. Lowe's, the new home for pros. U.S. only.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/news. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job in ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And now you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Hi, folks. Bob Burkham for Sunrise Buick GMC Truck. Thinking about buying a newer used car or truck? Remember, the selection's better and the savings are bigger at Sunrise. Over 600 new cars and trucks to choose from, factory rebates up to $6,000 and interest rates low as 0%. Immediate financing with next to nothing down, a $6 million used car inventory, specializing in cars and trucks under $10,000 and monthly payments under $200. Bad credit, it's okay. At Sunrise, we've got a financing plan for everybody. SunriseMemphis.com. We're saving you money. It's just a way of doing business. Covington, Pike, Wolf Chase, and Collierville, we make it fun to buy a car again.
Welcome back to Sports 56 Mornings with Peter Edmiston.
Yes, I will be good, I promise.
Co-hosting Sports 56 Mornings is Anthony Sane.
That's great, man.
This hour is brought to you by Acura of Memphis. Now, back to Peter and Anthony.
You light my fire.
Grizzlies against the Nets tonight. Kyrie Irving did not make the trip. He didn't play last night for the Nets. When asked why, he apparently told somebody he didn't want to.
That's not true. Like, that's real? That meme that's going around, that actually came out of his mouth?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He said he didn't feel like playing.
Hey, I ain't mad at him.
It's like, I take 5, man.
Now, here's the thing. It's if you want to take a mental break because of all the things that have gone on, I think that's understandable. If you don't respond to your coach's texts, however, that's not so helpful.
Yeah.
Steve Nash had to say before the game yesterday he didn't even know he hadn't heard from Kyrie. He didn't know what was going on. So that part is problematic. If you want to take a mental day like that, hey man, there's been a lot of stuff happening. It's a pretty heavy deal. I get it, but. You do need to communicate that with your people.
Well, here's the thing. Kyrie's a weirdo. You'll never hear Anthony Sane. You'll never hear Anthony Sane say Kyrie Irving's not a weirdo. But I do defend his right, in light of everything that's going on, to say, hey, I'm personally not playing basketball while this is heavy on my mind. Like I'm not gonna call him.
But you just got to tell your people that.
Yeah, you got to communicate that.
You got to communicate that to somebody. You can't just not show up and not be like not answering.
But I
phone.
also defend his right to not say that that's the reason why I'm not playing. Because we're all assuming it. We're all assuming that that's not why he's playing. I defend his right for people not to know why he's doing it, other than people who need to know. And that he's already shared his fear, his reluctancy to want to talk to the media. So I'm not surprised that he's not telling anybody other than I just don't want to play. Just to avoid people responding to him saying I'm not playing because of the events that happened a couple days ago.
Yeah, I don't know. I think Kyrie's I would feel differently about it if I didn't think he was being provocative on purpose. Like it feels as though he has a way of kind of making it harder on purpose. Like all he would have had to do was just to respond to Steve Nash or even better to proactively call or text and be like, look, man, I just it's been hard. I don't feel like it. I can't do it. My mind's not on it. You mind if I take a couple games away? I mean, LeBron did that a couple years ago when he took 2 weeks and just said I was fried and I can't do it. Okay, you know what? It happens. But you got to communicate, and to not communicate about it, and then to leave it where Nash has to then say, well, I don't know. I honestly don't know. Yeah, I haven't heard from him. I don't know. I'm just being honest. I don't know. That, Kyrie does things that are provocative. He likes to do that. So I that's why I'm not as I'm sympathetic to a point.
Right.
But the way he handled it, he could have made it much clearer about what's going on. And he
go ahead, bro.
This is why he has the reputation that he has.
But here's another thing about Kyrie.
This is why teammates get frustrated with him because of stuff like this.
And we'll talk about other teammates getting frustrated in a minute. But until we get there, let me hold my last in. But another thing about Kyrie is that, like, I'm a big music fan, hip hop music fan, and just like with Jay-Z and Nas, how every time Nas drops an album, Jay-Z comes with the album out of nowhere. It seems like he's been waiting. Like he's been in his back pocket waiting for Nas. If you go back and look at Nas's album history, Jay-Z always drops an album not too long after Nas does, or the same day. Kanye West and Drake have a strange rivalry that goes back, where they out-petty each other. We know how ugly it got a couple years ago. And with that being said, we understand there's a weird friction between Kyrie Irving and LeBron James that has tons of layers to it that's been going on for a while. there's never going to be a situation where LeBron James says anything, does anything, and Kyrie Irving is going to do something to get some of that limelight, especially in something that they have common interest in, which is social justice. So LeBron comes out and says, "Yeah, I'm about to buy the whole Atlanta WNBA team."
Mm-hmm.
Then Kyrie said, "Hey, I'm woke too. I'm not going to play in a couple games this weekend against, some of the, not to call the Grizzlies terrible. I'm going to take 2 games off against, pretty much bad teams right now." And I think it's a lot of that too. I think that those two. I think that Kyrie.
Well, the problem is they played the Sixers, who were one of the better teams.
Yeah.
They had the best record in the East, and they lost. In fact, the Nets beat them last night.
That's right. They did. That's right. They beat them without
Kyrie
right.
or KD.
But yeah, had that part confused. I thought they played somebody bad yesterday. But
he's probably like, maybe I don't want to fly to Memphis. Okay.
Yeah, I'm just avoiding Memphis at all costs. I'm going to miss the whole road trip. I'll see you guys when you get back.
I said,
I think it's just a weird game he's gonna play, bro. Like I don't understand why more people don't see that he's always gonna be opposed to LeBron, and he's hooked up with KD, who also has a rivalry-esque situation with LeBron, and it's he's determined to beat him on and off the court. This guy almost shut down the whole bubble from outside of the bubble. Wasn't even going. He was like, "Do y'all really want to go down there? Maybe y'all should think about that." That's what Kyrie Irving did right before the bubble.
He is a provocateur sometimes. Yeah, which is fine. You got to have all types of people. So it's fun to see some of the stuff that he does. I think I'd get frustrated, as a coach or teammate sometimes that you have to clean up his mess with regard to all this stuff, because they're the ones who have to do it. I mean, Steve Nash has to do it. He has to by rule meet with the media. The other players by rule have to meet with some form of media. So they have to clean up that mess. It's reminiscent of the Grizzlies in years past prior to this new regime doing all kinds of things, and then nobody from the front office stepping up to actually do anything. And then guys like JB Bickerstaff or Dave Yeager or Fizdale would have to just stand there and I don't know why Marc Gasol's going to be traded. I didn't do it. It wasn't my deal. But no one from the front office would actually step up and be accountable for that. That's my issue with Kyrie. You just have to be accountable for those decisions if you're going to make them, because otherwise you put that on other people, and that's going to cause some friction. Speaking of friction, the Atlanta Hawks. Anthony Sain, are you ready for this?
Yes, I've been ready. If I've ever felt like Negro Damas.
And you have.
Often. This one was up there. Because I've told you people how this is going to happen. Go ahead, Peter.
Just to set the scene, the Atlanta Hawks have had their ups and downs this year, and they're in the middle of some downs of late, having blown a huge lead, losing to the Knicks. They have not looked good of late in the games that they've played, and that caused them to have a little bit of a coming together with Lloyd Pierce in a film session. And in that film session, this according to Chris Kirschner and Sam Amick from The Athletic, within that film session, according to 3 people who were there, said John Collins raised several issues about the way the Hawks were functioning with Trae Young at the helm. He talked about the need to get into offensive sets more quickly and to limit all those early shot clock attempts by Trae Young that leave his teammates on the outside looking in. He shared his desire to be more involved and expressed a desire for more ball involvement and flow on offense. There was no back and forth between the two.
Go ahead.
And the pointed criticism caught the attention of the room. Young made it clear that he disagreed with Collins' assessment. Collins texted when he was asked to respond, "Trae is my brother regardless," which is an interesting way to phrase it.
Plus, he wasn't offered a contract. He wasn't offered an extension. Well, he didn't sign an extension.
And then of course, if you remember, Hawks played terribly. And Trae Young in particular played awful in the game against Charlotte. They lost at home to the Hornets, scoring 11 points in the first quarter. This is an offense that's capable of a lot more than that. Trae Young in that game with a tremendous 35-minute, 7-point, 5-rebound, 3-assist performance, taking only 9 shots. Very pouty effort from Trae Young. At least one Hawks player told The Athletic he believed that carried into Wednesday's game and was the reason for Trae Young's passive and lethargic performance.
You know how I feel about Trae Young. I think he's the anti-Ja Morant. he's a guy who he wasn't an unranked guy like Ja was, so he doesn't have the same level of hunger and chip on his shoulder or edge or whatever. But Trae Young wasn't a guy who is going into his freshman year. People were saying he was going to be a one and done guy. You know what I mean? He was good on the AAU scene. He had a little buzz to himself, but not like top 5 pick in the draft, type buzz. But he had a crazy freshman year, and he took college basketball by fire. And he comes in like he's arrived. It's all about me. I'm Ice Trae. All these type of things. And I've been saying this for years. I think Trae Young is a great point guard. I think he's a great scorer in the NBA. But I don't think his style of play as a point guard is winning basketball. And I said that the Collins thing is going to come back and bite them, and it's obviously both of those things are coming to pass. And Atlanta spent a bag this summer to be what I think will be a slight upgrade to what they were last year. I don't think they're going to be a playoff team. I think they're going to come back to earth, and this type of stuff is real. And I also said a while ago that you're probably going to see Trae Young get traded to somewhere like the Thunder, which is the state that he played college ball in anyway. I wouldn't be surprised if they trade him for like a Gilgeous-Alexander and a ton of picks. I don't think – and when a guy is part of the problem and he's yelling, hey, there's a problem. There's something wrong with this team, and you're a big part of the problem, you can't satisfy that guy because he doesn't even accept that he's a part of the problem. He's running off to the front office, running off to the general manager, hey, I need some guys around, I need some help. And you're in your 3rd year in the NBA, and you're hollering to this front office about go get some help, like you're Jordan or somebody, like you're somebody who's actually done something. And then they make all these provisions, they make all these changes based around Trae Young crying. And I guarantee you he's still going to be crying. He's going to ask for a trade because that's who he is. He's whenever there's a problem with a team and you're separating yourself from the situation as if you're not a big part of the problem, you can't satisfy that guy. And Atlanta's going to see that soon. And shout out to my boy, Mr. Childress, who hadn't texted in today, but had to slide his DM on Instagram because he likes to remind me of every time the Hawks win, which is a dangerous place to be because you can't keep that.
I hope
you can't keep that in.
Definitely. I hope the Hawks decide that Kevin Hooter, as they like to say, Kevin Hooter and John Collins are part of the problem. Because if they make trades of those guys, then there should be a certain organization right here in Memphis that would be very interested in making those sorts of things happen. John Collins would be a, if you were to swap out Jonas Valanciunas with John Collins, that'd make a very interesting.
Can't breathe over.
Very interesting lineup for the old Grizzlies. If you had, if you're looking for that third guy, the Grizzlies are looking for that third guy. John Collins is
He's good.
He's good. He's good.
How dare you, Mr. Childress, longtime listener of the show, come to me about the trash Atlanta Hawks like you got some weight. How dare you?
It was a very. If you watch the game, Trae Young was totally disinterested. Was just kind of floating around out there. I mean, you know how good this guy is as a scorer. Like for him to score 7 points on 9 shots, it's a pouty kind of game. It's like that game where Kobe didn't take a single shot in that one half just because everyone was talking about how many shots he took, and he just purposefully passed the ball, didn't take a single attempt just to because he was just mad. Like this is just pouty, and that's not a good look for a quote unquote team leader. To be pouty and to get in his own feelings so early in the season over what is justifiable criticism. You gotta own it. That's just part of the gig. If you're gonna be a leader, you gotta own it. And he may be really really good, but he's not a leader. Compare for example to Luka Doncic, who has taken a lot of criticism this year as well. Justifiably so. He's not played up to his norm. And last year, the Mavericks really struggled in close game situations. Well, they won in overtime against the Nuggets, and Doncic was huge late in the game. And he said afterwards, I got to be better. I wasn't very good. And he owned it. He owned the criticism. That's what you expect from a guy who's a leader, is to own it and to say, yeah, I wasn't as good, and yeah, the criticism was right, and I need to be better. That's all you can ask, and to make up for it. So kudos to him.
Yeah, kudos. Kudos to you, Trae. Ice Trae.
No, not kudos to Trae. Kudos to Luka Doncic.
Yeah, kudos to Luka. No,
Shane
I know that.
Out of the,
I'm going back.
Shane sort of checked out
I'm
of the
going
show
back to Trae Young, man. I'm going back to Trae Young. Kudos to you for screwing up your team, man. Like, I can't stand that kind of stuff, bro. Like, you're going to the front office complaining like you need help as if you're not part of the problem. You can't, I tell people, you can't cave into those type of dudes, bro, because there's always going to be something different. You can do everything in the world to please them, and they're still going to complain their way about it. So just build your team the way you want to build your team, knowing you're probably going to have to trade that dude anyway. Don't go get a bunch of mid vets on your team and spin yourself out of 2021 free agency. Take yourself out of the 2021 draft because you're not going to be bad enough to be a lower lottery team just because Trae Young's over there, I forgot I was on the radio, crying about the situation, that he is a big part of why they're that way.
Well, and the thing is with Trae too, this I want everyone to understand. This should tell you how good and how incredible Steph Curry is.
Yep.
And don't disrespect him by comparing Trae Young to Steph Curry.
Never in your life.
No more.
Don't do it.
Never.
Stop. Because he has a way, he can still get his people involved in the game while also taking those early shots, while also doing all that in a winning situation. And, he's had some phenomenal teammates, don't get me wrong, but all of that runs through Steph Curry. You think James Wiseman would be off to the start he's off to without Steph Curry? Come on, man.
And Steph ain't down there crying about nothing. He's down there just taking his lumps, man.
No, he gets bumped, knocked around. He's a little guy.
He's dropping 60 and winning.
Exactly. I mean, don't disrespect Steph Curry by putting him in the same ballpark. That ain't gonna happen. Yeah. We'll have some predictions for this weekend, including tonight's game and the NFL action when we come back and wrap up this Friday edition. There's some snow flurries in the Memphis area. That's always fun. Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 98.5, 96.1.
Get happy with Sports 56 Happy Hour with Johnny Radio. Weekday afternoons from 1 to 3 on Sports 56, 98.5, and 96.1.
If ever there was a time for comfort food, this is it. And there's no comfort food like Sunrise on Jefferson. Fresh-made breakfast featuring Sunrise's signature homemade square biscuits or the huge selection of hot, fresh, and fast lunch items are all part of what has always made Sunrise the most comforting of comfort foods in Memphis. Of course, everything that can be done to keep you and the staff safe at Sunrise is a top priority. And you can always order ahead and get delicious Sunrise to go. At a time this confusing, it's good to know there's one thing you can count on: Sunrise.
When you visit Navy Liquor at 7866 Highway 51 in Millington, you'll be treated like family by friendly, knowledgeable staff. Select are your favorite bourbon, vodka, scotch, beer, tequila, gin, and rum, as well as wines from all over the world. An amazing selection of sakis, too. Coldest beer in town. Beer kegs are available. Any beer, any wine, any liquor. You got the Navy Liquor hookup. Come see us, holiday or any other occasion. Navy Liquor, corner of Highway 51 and Navy Road in Millington.
It's time, Memphis. Tune into Fox Sports Southeast and watch your next Gen Grizzlies tonight at 7 p.m. when they host Kevin Durant and the Brooklyn Nets, presented by FanDuel Sportsbook. Check out Grizzlies.com for more information.
I'm here with the great Pat Donahue from the Rendezvous Restaurant Shipping Department.
Thanks, Brett. We've been shipping our ribs all over the country now for decades from our USDA-inspected shipping kitchen in the Pinch District. We hand-cook our ribs in pits that Mr. Charlie built over charcoal, just like they do at the restaurant.
So what comes in a rib box?
We could do pork shoulder, we could do ribs, our sauce, seasoning, baked beans, coleslaw. We'll even throw in Pancho's cheese dip with our nacho boxes. We also put a bag of Rendezvous seasoned popcorn, heating instructions, some chef hats, some wet naps, and some other helpful tips from our kitchen. We ship our ribs overnight, exclusively FedEx. And we put them in nice packaging. We don't ever want to use styrofoam, so we use corrugated cardboard, actually 2 boxes that fit nice together, so the ribs get to you, your loved ones, or your clients in a safe, wholesome manner. Rendezvous ribs are perfect for out-of-town clients, customers, loved ones. We also ship ribs for any occasion.
Where do we order these great ribs?
You can go to www.hogsfly.com or give us a call at 1-888-464-7359.
Charlie Burgos' Rendezvous Restaurant in the alley since 1948.
I Buy Houses, 901-406-1101. That's 901-406-1101. I Buy Houses. I Buy Houses will buy a house in any area in any condition. And yes, it's guaranteed to close in 5 days. If you need to sell your home quickly, call 901-406-1101. If you've been through a divorce, if you lost your job, if you're tired of renters, iBuyHouses can get you your money quickly. iBuyHouses will buy your home in Shelby County, DeSoto County, Memphis, Bartlett, South Haven, Horn Lake, Olive Branch, anywhere and everywhere in between in any condition. And yes, they're open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. iBuyHouses, 901-406-1101. That's 901-406-1101. Grab that pen, 901-406-1101. iBuyHouses.
Welcome back to Sports 56 Mornings with Peter Edmiston.
Yes, I will be good, I promise.
Co-hosting Sports 56 Mornings is Anthony Sane.
That's great, man.
This hour is brought to you by Acura of Memphis. Now, back to Peter and Anthony.
Come with me to Chocolate City.
Chocolate City been in the news a lot.
Yeah.
Very much so. All right, so we wrap up this edition of Sports 56 Mornings. We've got Sports 56 Middays coming your way next with Greg and Eli. They will take you all the way to 1 o'clock. Johnny Radio grabs you at 1 and takes you to 3, and then you've got Sports Time with Wolo and Stats from 3 to 6. So a busy day here on Sports 56. And as we mentioned, it is a weekend of wild card football action right here on the Flynn family of stations. Yep. Of course, you've got not only you have the Ole Miss basketball, Eli Savoy on the call this weekend, but also you've got a ton of football action, including tomorrow night. You want to hear a great upset battle as the Washington football team will overcome the evil Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Bucks. You can hear that right Brady. Here on Sports 56.
I think I saw Tom Brady in the intrusion.
That's exactly right.
I think I saw him
now the game tonight, Grizzlies Nets. Nets likely without certainly without KD, likely without Kyrie as well. But that didn't seem to have any impact on them last night as they beat a very good Sixers team with big nights from Karis LeVert, Joe Harris as well. Grizzlies beat this Nets team earlier in a similar situation. What happens tonight, Anthony Sane? Does the offensive woes continue? Do we see any kind of a rotation change? Because boy, it's certainly needed.
They need a rotation change. They need a starting lineup change. I'm predicting another L with several bright spots throughout the game. I think it's going to be a big Bane game tonight.
Bane game.
I think he's going to get maybe because he's normally getting maybe 2 threes a game. I think we're going to see him probably get maybe 4 or 5. I think Tillman's going to have a bounce back game. He had the energy yesterday, but missed a lot of shots that we know he can make. Man, I liked how Tillman was able to put the ball on the ground and get to the cup. Did you notice that? Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm seeing a lot of. He's got seeing not like that distributor Draymond handling the ball at the key type thing, but I've seen some playmaking ability in Tillman that I like. A lot of people gave him some Jokic comps, like poor man's Jokic type comps. There's another cross-racial comp that I like as well. But I
very, very, very poor man's Jokic.
Yeah, extremely poor. Just give up on life, poor.
Yes. Yes.
Lose your life force, the desire to go on.
Yes.
But yes. I think I'll see a big game from both of those guys tonight.
I think that they need a bounce back. I think you also need to see a bounce back game from Dylan Brooks, who he's. I don't know, man. I think we're seeing limitations of Tyus Jones. We're seeing limitations of Dylan. We're seeing limitations of a lot of these guys. And the lineups just have to be better. You've got to get guys out there. You need to see a little more of, in my mind, you need to see Gorgie Jeng out there along with Xavier Tillman. Get a little bit more defensive stability inside while also having a little playmaking on the outside. And you could throw Brandon Clark in there for one of those two guys. But I just think that the Jonas lineups are really, really struggling right now. And especially when you have Tyus and Jonas out there, they're just very workmanlike. Both of them are very workmanlike players. And you need a little spark, and there's just no spark coming. You can see that the team, and I'm just going to say this, and you can deal with it as you want to, Anthony Sane. They miss John Conchar.
Yeah, they do.
And I'm only partially joking. Like he does provide. I always talk about that little little glue guy thing or that lubrication that you need sometimes.
Let's not mix glue. Let's not mix glue and lube. This isn't American Pie.
Well, whatever you want to say.
You can't be a glue guy and a lube guy at the same time. You can't allow stuff to
he's
pass
a glue
through.
guy on defense and a lube guy on offense, and that's the
Yeah, I'm out. That sounds painful. Yeah, I think I'm out on those. I don't even want to envision that.
Are we gonna? I think that should be a thing now. The lube guy. He's a lube guy. He lubes up the team.
I thought you were pulling Coach JJ trying to put them together. He's a glue guy.
He's a glue guy.
Glue guy.
Gloob. Gloob. He's a gloob guy.
Need to run that through Amari Sankofa, see what he thinks about it.
All right. I think the Grizzlies. I just think they got to win tonight. I really do. I think they got to figure it out. And hopefully it'll be.
But I won't lose sleep if they win or lose. I'll say that. I just want guys to get better. Developmental season. Man.
I want you to sleep well, regardless. That's what I want. I want you to get. Some
I need some of them. Head to get some actually right now.
That sounds like a good plan. Well, we got to get out of here. Again, big thanks to our friends at Accurate Memphis for bringing this hour of the program. Thanks to Adam Kramer, Kari Thompson for joining us. Everybody, have yourself a great weekend. Enjoy the flurries if you got them this morning. Have a good weekend, and we'll talk to you on Monday. Middays is next.